What's up, what's up, everybody? It's HBT with the Straight Up Wrestling Show, man. I'm with my man, Christopher Burton.
People's Podcaster, what's going on?
What's up, everybody? Hey, guys, we are here. We're going to talk about some of these indie wrestlers that Chris and I pretty much encountered, was able to see during our travels of the Straight Up Wrestling Show. We started the Straight Up Wrestling Show in 2021. And man, you guys know, everybody who knows us know that we used to travel out to a lot of different wrestling promotions. This year, we haven't really done too much. But yeah, usually we travel a lot, go out and see a lot of different indie wrestlers, especially in this area. So we're going to talk about some indie wrestlers here in the upstate of South Carolina, Western North Carolina, Georgia, that we've seen that really impressed us. So today, this is going to be part one of this episode, pretty much volume one of this episode, and we're going to talk about some wrestlers here, guys. Let me go ahead and talk about the players, Chris, the players. All right, man, we're going to talk about Boomer Payne. We're going to talk about Payne. We're going to talk about Cruiser Lewis. We're going to talk about AJ Frost. We're going to talk about Curtis Coleman. We're going to talk about Chris Thunder Anderson, and we're going to talk about Christopher Prince and Drew Hood. So, man, hey, man, we're about to pretty much lay this down, Chris, and talk about these indie wrestlers that we've seen, man. Hey, what you think right off the bat as far as indie wrestling? What does that bring to you, Chris? As far as why did you want to go out and see this stuff, man, and pretty much report on it, like like we've done in the past?
Well, man, I don't know, man. I guess when I found out about it, man, it was basically like because for the longest, man, you really didn't, unless you were in that world, you didn't really know about it, man.
That's true.
It was when I found out about it, man. I knew about it, but I didn't know about it. But when I really got into it and found out about it, man, it was pretty much like, okay, so let me go see what's going on out here in this local scene, man. You know, a lot of these guys who have possibly made it or trying to make it to the majors, if you will. And see who's hot and who's not, and that's what happened, man. Because like I said, when I came in, you know, there's a lot of guys that are still doing it when I came in, man.
Right.
They're still doing it. We're gonna talk about two of them. We're gonna talk about 2 or 3. We're gonna talk about, but they're still.
We
around.
know 2. Well, probably 3 of them. Yeah, we know 2 of them. No doubt about that.
And
but yeah,
so it's the indie scene. You know, like I said, man, and then some guys, you know, they know they're not gonna make the majors, if you will. You know, the big 2 or the big. Yeah, I just say the big 2. Because, and they're just doing it for the love of it, man. They're just doing it for the love of it. Some of them had their shot, and you know, did what they did in the majors, and then got to a point where they felt like. Meaning the company was like, okay, we can't do nothing else with you. We're gonna let you go, and they went back to what they know. They went back to the independence, you know, went back to the grassroots movement, and a lot of stars have done that, and we got to see a lot of those stars, man, and a lot of stars from yesteryear, and the ones that are in today's climate, man, the ones that are trying to make it and get their name out there. So yeah, we've seen a lot of stuff in indie, man. Where in the world did you go, man?
Oh, just a second, man. Just 1 second here. In a second, I should have done this a little bit earlier. Man,
all right, well, we got first in the room. We got Will Riley. Hey, Harry and Chris. Will Riley says, okay, good stuff. Indie wrestling that impressed you. Cool. Yeah, man. We're going to talk about some wrestlers that came out and that are still out here doing their thing, man. They're still doing their thing, making the rounds. Being what they call weekend warriors, if you will, and just, you know, out here doing it for the love of it, man, for the passion and the love they have for this business, man.
Oh yeah, when it boils down to it, mostly, 98% of the guys, man, that pretty much get into business, pretty much worked on the indie scene. You know, it's not many that who have went straight to pretty much straight to one of the majors. And I'm talking about WWE. I'm talking about, you know, WWE, AEW, or you can go back to WCW days. And then when it comes to majors, I'm talking about regional territories too. I'm talking about like Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Nikita Koloff instead of, he pretty much skipped the Indies and went straight to the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Braun Breaker skipped the Indies and went straight to AEW. I'm not AEW, to NXT. So that don't happen. That don't happen a lot, Chris. Not at all. And I'm talking about the history of professional wrestling, especially within the sense of, probably the 50s. That don't happen a lot. Most guys are going through that indie, going through the indie territories. And Chris, man, go ahead and talk about how, hey, the first guy, I mean, you under Brody Chase, we went through him. You went through him. So that was the first indie show I think that we actually went to. I may have went to a couple of these things back in the 70s or 80s. I'm pretty sure I did. I remember doing some things like that, man. But it was called Outlaw Promotions back then. But I definitely did do that. So, but go ahead and talk about that a little bit, man, before we get into, the Cruiser Lures, the Boomer Paynes, the Christopher Princes, and the Drew Hoods, and, the Christopher Andersons.
Well, basically, man, indie promotions are guys that, have been in the business or, wanted to continue their love for the business and help bring some guys up and train up some men and women to possibly jumpstart their careers and help them advance their dreams.
Yes.
And Brody Chase was one of those guys, man. Brody was one of them. He had his own promotion. He was in association with WWC, World Wrestling Council.
Yes.
And
Carlito's dad's
promotion. Yeah, Carlito's dad. And he was in association with him. And I think he was the only, I think he told me at the time he was the only person up here in the U.S. that actually had the right to use WWC at the time.
Yeah, that was
that's what he told me now.
Carlos Colon's promotion.
Yep. So,
I was real shocked, man, because I was like, is that the same? Because when I first saw those initials, I'm like, is that the same? Because
it was.
When you see things like that, you know, and the WWC has been around for a long time, and it was a very strong promotion. So I'm like, is that the same? He using the same initials, using the same thing, and World Wrestling Council, and that's what he was using. So. Yeah, so and Chris ended up going there and doing some training, was able to work a little while under Brody Chase. So, that was his introduction. That was my introduction to actually seeing it. And like I said, I do remember a couple. I'm pretty sure I went to some outlaw shows back in the day, and that's what they called them back in the 70s and 80s. I remember going into some dusty old gyms, dusty old buildings, man, and checking out wrestling because my family, man, my grandmother, my aunts and uncles, they was very big wrestling fans. And so I'm sure I was dragged along. I remember being dragged along and seeing, and it was the same way it is today, just like we see the George Sauce as far as still in indie wrestling, the Mike Jacksons, guys like that, we still see that's wrestling. Back then, man, you saw the old school guys that was still out there doing it, man. The Hackins, it wasn't Hackins Smiths. Man, I'm about to say the Hackins Smiths.
Ricky Morton's and Barbarians and those guys.
They was all those guys was major at that time, man. I'm talking about back. I know you're using that as an example, but these guys are still rolling today. But back when I was younger, man, you still had people. I'm gonna say like Luthez and people like that who was still rolling on the indie scene out here doing their thing, man. You had the Lars Andersons, you had the. You had the Art Sailor Thomases and things like people like that. Bobo Brazil, those guys was still roaming, even though Bobo was wrestling in major territories too. But he was in his 50s. He was on the independent scene. But yeah, I was dragged to a couple of those shows. I remember a few of those shows.
Man, you wasn't dragged, man. You were dragging people, man.
Right. I was Look, to tell you the truth, I really didn't care about it, man, and I was skeptical about it to go this time. When you went up and man, but you were so excited about it, Chris. Look, and I'm remembering back to the Brody Chase days and everything, and I'm just like, man, am I gonna go to a show that looks exactly like the WWE? And that's pretty much what Brody Chase, when I first encountered that, looked like the WWE. He was kind of in WCW. He was kind of copying what was going on there. But you got invited to APW, Rocky Saki. You talked to him. He used to be called Rocky Saki. Now I think he's called Rocky. I think he's called. I forgot Rocky. Rocky done changed his name to Rocky Shaw or whatever. I don't know if he's
No,
going with that.
not Rocky Shaw, man.
What is
Rocky
he
Shaw,
going with, man?
I just know Rocky.
Yeah, well, Rocky. I know he's going Rocky. Just put it that way. But yeah, he pretty much changed his name. But APW was the place you took me to. So I'm gonna start out with AJ Frost, guys. We're gonna talk about AJ Frost, Chris. Yeah. And hey, look, I don't know what you thought about AJ Frost when you first saw him, but I can tell you what I thought about him. Now, you saw him before I did, because I think you went up there week before, and then I went the next week to see. You came back home, you telling me about this, you telling me about Danny Paris. You know, Danny Paris was pretty much impressed with you. You went out there and you did a little commentary with him and all that. And Danny told Chief Jay Eagle that he wants you out there all the time with him. So, man, and you got to see AJ Frost. You got to see you got to meet a lot of these guys out there that I didn't know much about, man. To tell you the truth.
And the funny thing too, man. The first day I went out there, man, it was so hilarious. The first day I went out there. Now, everybody in the indie world knows Danny Paris. From Tennessee to Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, to the northern part of Florida, Ohio. You know Danny Paris.
Exactly.
Mr. PWI, if you will.
No doubt.
So the first time, so Danny, I didn't know at the time, he was very skeptical of having people sit at the commentary desk with him. He's very skeptical, and rightfully so. I get it. Now, so the first person I met at APW was Dump Truck.
Okay.
He just had a match.
Not Chris Thunder Anderson. Chris, the other Chris.
God, we're gonna talk about him, man.
Chris Thompson. Yeah, go ahead, Chris Thompson.
You need to take a nap, man. Or eat a Snickers. Man.
Let me get some tea. Let me get some tea. Boy, let me get a swig. That's all I got. A swig in here, Chris. Get a swig here.
So I meet Dump Truck Chris Thompson, and he just had a match, and I was like, "Oh, good match." He's like, "Thank you." And I asked him, "Hey, is Jay Eagle around?" He's like, "Yeah, he's in the back. Hold on one moment." And then he introduced me to Rhonda, who was running the concession stand, and Rhonda was like, "Okay, yeah, come on back." She took me to the back. I introduced myself to Eagle, and all the boys were back there, and everything, and he was like, "Oh, yeah. I've been looking for somebody to help Danny out, you willing to do it today?" I'm like, "Huh?" I'm thrown off. I'm like, "Today? Now?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure." I wasn't ready, but I was like, "Sure." He's like, "All right." He's like, "All right, just hang around, baby. I'll take care of you. I got you. You know how you go talk, man. You know
no doubt. And everybody, we're gonna get to your comments in just a moment, guys.
And so yeah, he was walking me through there, and I was walking through the locker room and everything, and I was like, okay. So I walked through the locker room, and I'm looking at everybody, kind of nodding and making my presence known, telling everybody hello and stuff, as I'm walking by. And I get out there. Now, if you've been to the APW arena, it's on the commentary desk at the time was beside the bleachers on the side where the women's restroom is.
Oh boy.
Okay, because the men's restroom is on that far wall over by concessions. And you go around the locker room on the back side, and you come out the back side, you come around that corner, and that's where the commentary desk was at the time.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there, and he's like, "Hey, Danny, I got somebody for you here, baby. He's going to help you do commentary." And Danny's in the middle of the match. He's looking at Eagle like, "Who in the hell is this? Really, Eagle?" and that's the look Danny gave him, like he wanted to cuss Eagle out. Like, "Really? You going to do this to me?" And I was like, "Oh, boy. Okay, I ain't trying to ruffle no feathers now. Okay." So I sit down, and Danny, a match is going on.
Sat down with a legend, a true legend in the game, a true legend in indie wrestling. I mean, incredible, man. The things that Danny did. But yeah, go ahead, Chris.
And so I'm sitting down there, and Danny had that look on his face when Eagle brought me over there, and I was like, "Oh boy." I'm like, "This ain't how it was." I'm like, "Man, he looked pissed off." I'm like, "Oh boy." I'm like, "Oh boy." I'm like, this ain't cool, man. I don't want to ruffle no feathers. I don't want to piss nobody off. This is my Lord, no. If anybody in the wrestling business understand, your first impression, you don't want to piss nobody off.
No
You
ends ands
don't-
buts about that,
You want to
Mr.
get
Burke.
along. You want to try to get along with any and everybody as much as you possibly can. You don't want to piss nobody off. You want everything to go smooth.
That's true.
So I'm sitting there, and I remember and thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, I've done commentary at home, but this is live and it's being recorded. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, okay, this guy knows all his stuff, and I'm listening to him. He's calling matches, calling the moves and everything. I'm like, okay. How can I do this? How can I do this? And the first thing that popped in my head here, the first thing I was like, how can I set this up? And I'm thinking, boom, I got it. Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Okay.
He'll
I
be
know that
Gorilla.
Gorilla Monsoon, man. Gorilla Moosin, man. You know that. Gorilla Moosin, man. Gorilla Monsoon thing, Monsoon, man. Like he's some doggone. It sounds like he's some kind of monster or whatever. It's a big monsoon coming or some kind of tornado coming. The monsoon is coming to get us the monsoon. No, it's Gorilla Moosin, man. Get it right. I'm just messing.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, that's the route I'm gonna go with this.
Okay.
He knows these guys. I really don't know these guys, but I knew about APW from when the years they were on TV and all this and all that.
Oh yeah.
So
a lot of great people.
I'm sitting there, and so I'm sitting there, and Brian Bullitt was wrestling.
Right.
He ended up wrestling. That was the match I called, and Danny gets on the mic. He introduces me, and he tells me, introduce me on the thing. And I got the DVD packed up somewhere. My first commentary, I got it packed up, and Brian Bullitt comes up.
I don't know what on that thing, boy. You was country, boy.
I was, man. I was. But my voice changed with my environment. My voice changed with my environment.
Yeah, boy. You was country as I don't know what
my accent really came out, man. It really came out.
I know it did.
and so I'm calling the match, and Brian Bullitt's out there, man. And I was like, Danny, I really don't know too much about this Brian Bullitt, but word on the street has it. And I said these exact words, and I was trying to pop him. And I think I did. I really popped him. I was like, the word on the street is, man, Brian Bullitt was so ugly that the doctor smacked his parents when he was born.
Oh, gosh. Man, we need to send this to Brian Bullitt, man. If anybody out there, Marquine, I know you watching. I know some other people watching. Go ahead and send that out to Brian Bullitt, man. I love that. I remember you did that, too. Yeah. But it was more like, Brian Bullitt was so ugly. When it boils down to it, man. But yeah, he was really country on that. And I was thinking it was pretty much Danny's equipment. But I know you. But like I say, your environment, your voice does change a little bit. It's if you're around more country people, it changes.
My accent comes out real thick.
Yeah, it does. And sometimes it does with me too. It depends on who I'm around. Like I say, if somebody have more of a southern slang, that's gonna show. That's gonna come out with me. If I'm around more people that speak more fluent or whatever, that's going to come out. So yeah, I'm with you on that, and that definitely does with you.
I said that, man, I was like, man, the doctor smacked Brian's parents when he was born. He was so ugly, and then, oh my God, I wish I had on video. I wish I had Danny's face. Danny was calling the match, and when I said, he just stopped. He was like, he just looked at me, and then he was just like. And he couldn't even finish what he was going to say about the match. He just looked at me like 3 or 4 times like, what? He's like, what did you just say? And man, I'm trying to tell you, man. Oh, my God. And then he was like, after everything was over, Dan was like, man, I've heard some stuff in my day, but I ain't never, ever heard nothing like that before. And he was like, but you know your stuff, kid. You know your stuff.
Oh yeah,
you're good. You're good. I like it.
When I started commentating with him, I ended up commentating more with him than you did because you was at work a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing a lot of commentary with Mr. Danny Paris. But yeah, man, that's some great times. But guys, we're gonna go ahead and start getting into some of these wrestlers, man. So you met AJ Frost. Was he there that first night? But we don't. Right after this, we're gonna get to the comments. Sorry, guys. But
AJ, was AJ there?
You must have, because you introduced me to AJ. So I mean, you introduced me to him that first night. I mean, the first time
he might have been, man, because that locker room was so packed that night.
Right.
It was so packed. I mean, it
I
was.
think I came the third week. It might have been the third week that you was there. Maybe the third week. I
No,
can't
you
remember.
came. You came with when they had the cage match when it was him and Tyler Storm.
I came a week before that. I came the week before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but like I said, when Eagle was taking me through the locker room, trying to get me around to Danny, the locker room was so packed. I really didn't get to see the faces because I'm trying to keep up with Eagle because I didn't know where I was going.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying to keep up with him, you know, and I'm just seeing everybody just hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, how you doing? And trying to keep up with Eagle.
Right.
So, but I really didn't get to see who, like I said, who all was in there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was a great time, man, and it was some good action too, man. It was some good action. I believe Brian was second to Maine that first night that I called with Danny.
Okay. So, yeah, Brian Bullet, man, put on a lot of great matches up at APW, American Pro Wrestling. A lot of great matches, man. Hardcore matches. But yeah, we're gonna talk about AJ Frost. But before we get into AJ Frost, man, let's go ahead and get these comments, Chris. They're piling up, man. So
gosh, yeah, man.
Some of these comments here before we get into that. And like I say, I'm gonna have to go all the way back. But man, you need to start it off. Go ahead and roll it.
Okay, man. All right. First we got in the room, we had Will Raleigh said, "Hey, Harry and Chris."
What's up, Raleigh? What's up? All the way from England.
Says, okay, good stuff. Indy Wrestling, that impresses you. Cool. Second, we got in the room, my man, hashtag Truth, Mr. Hashtag Truth, Scott Larson said, let's go.
Yeah, Scott Larson, hashtag Truth, doing his thing.
Then we got on Facebook, Marquine McQueen in the building, man.
What's up, brothers? What's up, Marquine? In the house.
Then we got Mr. Scott Larson again says the Armstrongs were big in the indie scene, even though they were on TV.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Then we got Jack Roby says, what's up, Harry and Chris?
What's up, Jack Roby? What's up, man?
And Mark King even says, I was there that day. Wow. See, like I said, man, it was so many people in that locker room. I really didn't get to see who was there. Now, one person I do remember seeing, because we made eye contact for a while, and that was Tim Kirkendall.
Okay. Yeah.
Elite 19. I remember seeing him, and he looked at me like, who the heck is this dude?
Yeah,
you know, and I'm looking at him like, who is you?
yeah, Mayhem. Just Marquine McQueen at that time, man. You know, he was a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him over there with his girlfriend at the time.
Because he always used to call me Teddy Long when I would get in the ring and do announcing. I remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, he was over there all the time, checking everything out. So yeah, he remember when we first started up there. All right, man. So continue on.
All right. Next we got Miss Alma Clark says,
what's going on, Alma?
Burton and Harry Bernard Taylor. How are y'all doing this afternoon? I'm doing pretty good. Resting up, watching this weather situation for this evening and overnight. We're in a tornado watch until 9 p.m.
Oh wow.
I may not be on here tonight. Weather radar analysis is spotting B90.
Okay, Alma, we'll look for you. Hopefully everything goes well there. But I'll continue to check on that Texas weather too. My daughter lives out in Texas now.
That's some crazy stuff going on out there in Texas.
Bro. Oh yeah. All right, Chris.
Jack Roby said, "Not Ronda Rousey, folks." LOL.
She wrestling. She's done wrestled on the indie scene a couple of matches here lately. So, hey,
she has done a few matches here and there, man. She has done a few matches here and there.
Oh yeah.
So she has done a few matches. Facebook, let me see. Big Dog Curtis Coleman, what's good, Bubba? I think that's Marquine again. I think that's Marquine saying, what's up to Curtis Coleman, I believe. And Robert Corson's in the building, says, what's up, Harry and Chris?
What's up, Robert?
Facebook user, I'm trying to get these Facebook users here real quick, guys. Hold on here.
Okay.
Oh, Curtis Coleman says, Curtis Coleman's in the building, says, just living life, brother. Listening to my favorite guys now. Hey, Curtis, thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that, man.
Curtis, man. Love Curtis since 2022.
Talking about you on here too, man.
Oh, man. We got a lot to say about Curtis in just a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And Marquine says, mine too. All right.
Thank you, Marquine.
And Marquine's love that cracking up laughing. And he's tagging our man Brian Bullet. And Brian Bullet's going to be chiming in, I'm sure.
Oh,
Jason
yeah.
Dunn says, "What's up, Harry and Chris? You hear Atlanta legendary producer Rico Wade passed away, who produced TLC
Oh,
Outcast
wow.
for the member of Organized Noise." Yeah, I heard about that, man.
I didn't hear about that, Rico. Appreciate that information, man.
Jack Roby's cracking up at me.
All right.
Scott Larson says, "The first time I called a match with Danny, I was so excited. I miscalled 3 wrestling moves. He laughed so hard." You know what? I could see that. And Lim Oliver's up there cracking up.
Yeah, Danny will correct you, man. He will correct you. Ain't no doubt about that.
He will. Lim Oliver said, "What's up, Harry and Chris?"
What's up, Lim? Good to see you, my buddy.
Facebook user to do Brian Bullet. Brian Reynolds said, "What's up, Buzz? What's up, Brian Bullet?"
What's up, Brian Bullet? Glad to see Brian Bullet is in the house, my man.
Yeah.
All right.
Lim Oliver, AJ Frost will fit in AEW with the Maniacs. And the Maniac side of him is hardcore stuff. Hey, man, Lim, let me tell you.
I agree.
Him and Moxley would make a good damn tag team. That's all I'm gonna say. Him and Moxley would get along great, man. Oh, Scott Larson says, player, Christopher Burton. Robert Corson, I would like to see Nick Fury in NXT. Man, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be awesome to see Nick Fury in NXT. That
and you talking about somebody that deserves it, somebody that deserves to be, probably NXT, AEW right now, is Nick Fury. And I mean, straight up, especially NXT, because they can put him in that, they can put him in the PC Center, man. I mean, they can do so many things with him, help him, nutrition wise and get his body up to where it used to be when he was younger, man. But I mean, he's still young enough to go in there and do it, and he can do a lot of incredible things. I would love to see him get in there, man. He's pretty much at the, peak end of his peak on his career, but he's got probably a good another 4 years or so before he really started to slide. So I would love to see him get in. And AJ too. Both of those guys, man. Pretty much they've been both of them been in the game for over 20 years. I mean, they've been doing it since they was teenagers. So I would love to see those guys get a shot, man. But it is really hard to really move up, in this business, man. And we've heard, like I say, from one of our main men, like I said, hey, CC, man, Curtis, told us some stories about what went down when he was about to go up, to the big time. So it's a hard thing to do. It really is, brother. No doubt about it, Robert. Yeah. All right, man. Roll on.
Robert Corson says, "What's up, Harry and Chris? How's everything been? Everything's been good on my end, Robert. Hope everything's been good on yours."
Cool. No doubt.
And Robert also says, Rico Wade produced Waterfalls, TLC, Harry.
Yeah.
Perry Carey's in the building. So what's up, Harry and Chris?
What's up, Perry Carey?
Says also Luke Fury for NXT. Young,
man.
Luke, definitely.
Luke probably got one of the best chances out here on the indie scene. He's only 17 years old. Luke haven't hit 18. He can't even mess with South Carolina yet. But Luke is one of these guys, man, that's really coming up. That's really somebody send this thing out to Luke. I think already sent it out to Luke. But Luke is one of these guys, man, who's definitely coming up. That's gonna be noticed very soon here in the industry. And hey, he has no better teacher than his dad, man. He's got his dad, and I know he's surrounded by a lot of other people that's been able to help him out here in the business, man. But hey, Luke Fury, look out for that name. Luke Fury is going to come out here, and he's going to be able to do things probably his dad wasn't able to do. But like I said, man, his dad's still young enough to where he can get out here and pretty much make some noise. And I hope he gets a chance, because Nick Fury, man, that guy's a flipping monster on the scene, and there's not many that me and Chris have seen out here that can pretty much hang with Nick Fury when it boils down to it, straight up. All right.
Alma Clark says, "Hopefully I can cook burgers tonight. B90. Hey, hopefully you can.
Hey, get them in early, Alma. Get them in early, and that way you'll have them already ready. Straight up.
All right, Harry. So let's go ahead and talk about our first wrestler, man.
All right, man. Since we was talking about APW, man, let's go ahead and talk about AJ Frost, man. AJ Frost.
You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing.
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed about it, man. He's wrestling, and I forgot who he was wrestling on that night, the first time that I saw him. But, AJ, every time he got the dude down, man, he just beat him down. AJ said, he ain't nothing. When he first did it, I'm like, what in the world? But he played to the crowd so well. I really thought the guy that he was wrestling, I think he was wrestling. No, it wasn't Dagon. Gosh, I'm trying to think who it was. But he just, he wrestling this guy. And the guy he was wrestling was pretty good. I cannot remember who it was. but he was giving AJ a pretty good fight. But then AJ ended up getting a couple moves. You know how AJ runs to the ring ropes and he starts screaming, "Ah!" Come back, elbow, knocked him down. And then as soon as you knocked him down, he looked over to the commentary desk where you and Scott Larson was at, and I was sitting over
Danny, man, Scott.
Then he screamed out,
Danny, man,
"He ain't nothing."
Yeah,
telling everybody he ain't nothing. I told you he ain't nothing. I'm like, oh God, this guy's interesting, But the match continued on, and it was back and forth for a little while. But AJ kept putting him down, taking him down. Then AJ finally hit him with a move, and AJ was able to pin this dude.
The frostbite. That was his finisher. Finisher back then. The frostbite.
Finished him off, and then AJ got up and he started talking about the Tyler Storm thing that was going on. I didn't know nothing about Tyler, besides some old video that I had watched of those guys for years before or whatever. Knew a little bit about them, but he's sitting there, he's talking about that, and it was coming up, and that match was whoever lost that match was gonna leave AEW, whatever. And everybody was just booing AJ. AJ was like, career. Yes, sir. Yeah, AJ was like, "Y'all really want me to leave? Y'all really want me to leave?" And they were like, "Get the hell out of here. We don't want you in here no more." Whatever. AJ was real upset, man. But AJ came out, man. And I remember you introduced me to him. You said, "What's up, man?" or whatever. And Scott Larson. I'm not Scott Larson, but
Danny.
Danny Paris. I'm thinking about Scott, man, since he on here. But yeah, Danny went ahead. I think it was you or Danny, one of you two introduced me and said, "Harry, this is AJ." And AJ was like, "What's up, man?" I started talking to him. I told him, I said, "AJ, I'm very impressed with you, man. I like you and everything. I love the way you talk to the crowd, man. You get in with the crowd telling people, shut up, and everything." And, AJ was like, "Man, I tried. He kept saying I was trying. Man, you didn't have to be telling me you tried or whatever. I thought this guy was great. I thought he was incredible." And I looked at him like I looked at the wrestlers that I used to look at when I used to watch Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, man, Georgia Championship Wrestling, Florida Championship Wrestling. I looked at him in that type of way, not the WWE guys that I saw later on at WCW and made those regional promotions, man. Those guys that was just really incredible. Even I'm talking about even down to your Rocky Kings, your George Softs, your Italian Stallions, those guys, even though, they was mostly jobbers back then, man. I looked at them as something special. I still look at George Soft when I first seen him out here on the scene, going around with Danny Paris. He's at his pro wrestling and he was at certain places. I still looked at George Soft that way. And I didn't even really talk to him because I looked at him as somebody, somebody really special. Because I really admired him, man, when I was a teenager as a wrestler. And seeing him on the indie scene, man, like I said, I really didn't know what to say to him. That's the reason I really never really approached him. To tell you the truth, really never really talked to him until, besides he spoke to me when I was up his pro wrestling when I was with Danny. But until he did that show, the show for your wife, I never really even talked to him, man. Even though I've seen him on several occasions, I didn't talk to him because I was still, wrestling was that big to me, and these guys, like you said, Chris, when you first seen it, these guys were bigger than life to you. And even AJ came off that way. He came across, I'm like, I'm bigger than this guy and everything, but he still came off that way. Small in stature, but man, his personality and the way he carries himself in the ring came off bigger than life. So, man, hey.
And it's so funny now that we actually know him, man. He's like, "Hey, George, how you doing?" We just go up talk to him like this. Like nothing, man. Like he's no doubt. And I mean, and I see where you're coming from, from your point of view, and I knew who he was, but I didn't have, I ain't gonna say I didn't have the same respect for him because I do have respect for George. I just didn't hold him in that regard as you did. Now, if it was, let's say, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, or somebody, that would have been a whole different story for me.
Yeah, why you think I had to like that around Jerry Briscoe? Like, that was a whole different ball game right there. That was a whole different ball game. And George Soft, when George Soft came around, you was 8 years old. You was 7, 8 years. You were 8 years old. That's when you first, when you first saw him. I mean, I saw him, like I said, I did. I saw him as a teenager, but it just, anybody that came up in wrestling, if you was able to make it into that wrestling arena, in my opinion, wrestling was so big at that time, and it was in the general public. As much as people want to try to say, you have Damian Priest, who came out wrestling bigger than it's ever been right now. You're delusional. You're delusional. You know, it's nowhere near what it used to be. You know, what it used to be, like I said, I can walk out anytime. I can walk out my door and talk to anybody about pro wrestling, and they know about it. They know about it. If they don't watch it, their kids watch it. They got a sister, brother watch it. Somebody, their grandmother watch it. And like I say, if your grandmother, most grandmothers was watching it back then. If your grandmother was watching it, everybody in the whole family was watching wrestling. You better believe, because that TV was going to be on there. Remember back in the day, you know, hey, you go into the arenas, they had an old woman there with a doggone cane, and they would just beat the wrestlers as it came out or whatever, or make a whole bunch of noise. But man, back then it was your grandma, your grandfather. These people, they love wrestling. The whole family did. So it was a family affair. Wrestling was just huge back in the regional days, regional territory days. And man, George South, hey, he was something special, man. Straight up.
So what about AJ, man? Really, I mean, now when you got to see AJ,
already explained that, man. Go ahead, though.
But I'm gonna say this, man. Now,
yeah.
Now the one match that I loved, and I think I've told AJ this, man. I think I've told him this. That 4th of July show, him and Tyler Storm, career versus career in the cage. Man,
that was a great match. Man.
Whew, ladies, man, do you have that DVD, man? You
still got that DVD, and the crowd was rowdy, man.
We're gonna have to post that. We're gonna have to post that, y'all. And we're gonna post
that clip of that.
And man, when I tell you that match, okay, everybody in the wrestling community has a match that you can remember. Just about everything about that match, from the time they walk through the curtain, have the match, to the time they walk back, and everything in between. You can remember just about everything about that match. That was one of the matches for me. And when I tell you, man, Harry can tell you, that day I was so jacked up.
Oh gosh, that didn't make no sense, man.
I was so jacked up. My energy level was so high that day, man. I remember it like yesterday, man. I called Harry, I think at 9 o'clock in the morning. I was like, Harry, you ready? You ready? He's like, man, I'm just waking up, man. I'm like, man, what you mean? Just, man, get your butt ready, man. He's like, the show ain't till 8 o'clock. I don't care. Get ready. And he was like, man.
Ask this joker had he ate breakfast, man. No, he hadn't eaten breakfast. I'm like, got with him and said, man, we need to go eat some lunch, man. I don't need to eat, man. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. You know, I mean, just Joker would not eat, man. I was waiting after the show. I was like, wow.
I mean, I was up at 9 o'clock in the morning.
He was like,
didn't eat breakfast, didn't eat lunch. Went to Waffle House about what was it, 1 o'clock that Sunday?
Yeah.
When we finally got everything done.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I finally ate. I was so jacked up and so hyped for that particular show, guys. My energy level's off the charts. Danny Paris even said, he's like, Chris, he was like, you wore me the hell out. He was like, your energy was so high, I couldn't keep up. He was like, you made me tired.
Man,
that show was just so insane, man.
It was stunning, man. I was stunned.
That was one of AJ's best matches to date that I can pimp, man. That is one of his best matches. I'll tell that to him, to his face, to this day. That was one of his best matches. Him and Tyler Storm.
That was the best match we ever seen. That's the best match we've seen from AJ. AJ and Tyler. I got it. That was the pinnacle of their wrestling career. If you ask me, it was the best. Look, man. I can't think of how many shows I've seen as far as on the indie scene in the 3 years we've been doing it, almost 3 years. But I have to rate that, man, as number one. You probably rate. I think you got it at number 2 behind the first Uprise show that you went to. You and Danny, y'all came back, and but that, you know, I didn't get to see that one because hey, I think I had boxing. I had a judge. Boxing. Show, a boxing card. Me and my man Avery, we was judges on a boxing card. But that show. That's the number one show that I still to this day. And APW, I know it's called the Asylum now, but it was American Pro Wrestling at that time. Hey, be proud of it. That was the number one show that Chris and I have seen. And guys, I know, like I say, I don't care what you think about me or whatever, but I tell you what, I know a lot of people out here respect my opinions when it comes to this.
Yeah, that
wrestling, me and Chris's opinions. That was the number one show that I've seen on the indie scene out here.
And it was so funny too. That was the number one show. Funny because
from top to bottom.
After a few months after we saw that show, I asked, me and Harry were talking about something. I forgot what we were talking about. Somehow that show came up. This man over here, that man right over there said that show brought back memories of the old NWA for him and how he used to feel.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt.
And now when he say that, you done hit a special spot in this man's wrestling heart, but for that.
Oh yeah.
Cause he ain't go. That's what he said. He's like, man. He's like, now think about it. That match made me feel like watching the old Crockett and promotion and NWA and all that. I was
Oh yeah. Wow. Look, man. Look. That show, that match right there, what AJ and Tyler put together, it was all-time great match.
Magical. It was magical, man.
It was all-time great match, and it's just one of those matches that I mean you could just put down in archives of I'm talking about top 20 matches. And I've been watching wrestling since 72, guys. Believe it or not, since 1972. My brother making me watch it. Hey, I'm just a kid playing with Army Man, and doggone Cowboys and Indians on the doggone.
Oh, you got a phone call.
Cartoons. We didn't get cartoons all the time back then. We didn't get cartoons. So there was no cartoons. There was the Monkeys coming on and Gilligan's Island and things like that. Archie, Green Acres and things like that. Hey, I wanted to watch outside of cartoons. Only show that I really liked was Gilligan's Island, man. That's what I wanted to watch. But my brother Gilligan's Island at that time on WYFF TV, only thing that came on, and I think Channel 7 had Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, or was it Channel 4 that had Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling? I used to want my brother to turn on Gilligan's Island. He wanted to watch wrestling. So,
the match
George,
in July. Yep.
George and Sandy Scott, man, Nelson Royal, and Johnny Weaver, all those guys. But, hey, I'm sitting there as a little kid, man, and I'm watching wrestling. I'm hearing the names, put it that way, hearing the names. And look, so, I'm watching wrestling from 72, 75. 75 is when I really got into it. But I'm telling you like this, guys. I've been watching wrestling for 50 years, basically. 50 years. And I know a lot of people, Harry, you don't look that old, man. You don't look that old. People can't believe I'm that old. But yeah, I am. I'm in my late 50s, man. So, look, I've seen a lot of wrestling matches. That's one of the best I've seen in my whole life.
And that's saying something. That's saying something, man. And you might feel a certain way about that promotion back then, even to this day, whatever.
Yeah, people was dogging it. People was dogging
it. And Michael King, that's our man Michael King, one of the originals for the Straight Up Wrestling Show, man.
He never was part of he never was part of Straight Up Wrestling Show. Don't put that out there, man. I'm just joking, Michael King. Yeah, he was part of it. And man, look, and Michael King, boy, I've been listening to
Michael was there, man. Michael was there, man. He was managing AJ at the time. Yes.
Yeah, I went back and I checked out a few of our podcasts, man. Some of our earlier stuff. I was listening to some of the, man, we had some great podcasts outside and doing those things. Like, that was some great podcasts, man. If you go back and you listen to the dynamics of it, it was really good. But yeah, man, no ends, ands, buts about it. But Chris, go ahead and get to some comments, man, because they piling up, man, straight up.
Yeah, we get some comments in here, man. Where we at here? All right. Scott Larson said, share the show, guys and gals. Let everyone know about these great wrestlers and, of course, the Straight Up Wrestling Show family.
Appreciate that, Mr. Larson.
Thank you. King McQueen says, I love Uncle George. And he also says, I finally get my chance to wrestle him this Saturday. Oh, wow, man.
Oh, incredible.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm just going to say this. Take your time, enjoy it, and soak in the entire moment.
Yeah, man.
Soak it in, man. Soak in the entire moment.
Wrestling a legend, man.
Scott Larson said, if I ever met Danny Davis or Kenny Wayne in person, I would faint. No lie.
Oh, I understand. Scott. It was your heroes, man.
All right. And Marquine said he wrestled that show, and he wrestled Ace Harris. Okay.
No. That was the second Cage show. You didn't wrestle the first one.
Oh, yeah, that was the second one. Yeah, that was the second. That was
talking about, Marquine. You did wrestle on that.
We're talking about the first one. We're talking about
the first one, brother.
And but he did wrestle Ace Harrison that second one.
Yeah, the second one he did.
Yep. Luke Childress in the building says, "Yo, Luke, what's going on?
What's up, Luke Childress?"
And Missy Childress is in the building. Missy, what's going on?
What's going on, Missy? What's up? We got a lot of people to talk about, man. We spent a good bit on AJ.
yeah.
So AJ, you better feel special here, man, because
you're getting your flowers, man. You're getting your flowers.
No doubt about it. But hey, you deserve it, man. I will get out here and say you deserve it. He's up there. I'm gonna go ahead and push his show, Silent Pro Wrestling. He's up there in Bowling Springs, South Carolina, still doing his thing, man. And hey, he's pretty much running this thing. So hey, guys, he's not just a wrestler, man. He's in charge. He's pretty much running the whole show. But hey, everybody out there around him is helping. Still got a lot of veterans up there, man, who's been around a good while. So go and check out, Silent Pro Wrestling on Friday nights, guys.
There it is right there, guys. I'll put it up there for you guys right there. Silent Pro Wrestling, 122 Builders Court, Bowling Springs, South Carolina, 29316, guys. Go check them out every Friday night, Bowling Springs, South Carolina.
And we may be there on Friday night, man. I'm not going to make no promises, but we may be there this Friday night. Yeah. All right, continue to roll, Chris.
All right. Michael King said the cage match in July. Yes, you were there, Michael King, because I remember after the match was over, I gave it a standing ovation, man. That's how much that match was. It moved me, man. I gave it a standing ovation, man.
Yeah, Chris was all into it, man. He was all into it.
I was jazzed up, man. I was jazzed up. Scott Larson said the way you describe it, Chris, Harry was standing on his chair like a girl. yes, screaming, yes.
The whole show was like that, Scott. I mean, it was that good. The second one was good too. Now I remember because Michael King, he brought his friend down from Seattle on the second one, and she sat with us. Yeah, it was incredible, Scott. I mean, look, Scott, I was stunned at it. Just put it that way, Scott. I was really stunned, and no, I wasn't sitting on my. I've seen a lot of wrestling, but I was stunned that it was that good. I really was. Because, first week I went out and said, okay, this is pretty good, man. I like this. I did see some indie wrestling in the past. Me and Chris had went out, and I saw some indie wrestling that I wasn't impressed with it. So I wasn't impressed with it at all. Hey, and it's still to this day. Yes, I'm opinionated. A lot of people know that, and I'm gonna continue being opinionated. And if people got problems with that, hey, our
office hours on from 9 to 5.
But yeah, still very opinionated. And tell you what, Scott, at that time, I went around to a lot of different shows where a lot of people talked about APW, and APW, like 4 out of the first, my top 6 at that time. 4 of these shows was the top shows that I had seen. So hey, but I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't see bad shows there, because I did. Straight up.
Everybody's entitled to bad shows.
Everybody has bad shows. Everybody. No doubt.
All right, Scott Larson says Michael King is a man. Okay.
All right.
Let's see. What was that? Hold on, where we at here? Let's see. Hold on. All right. Marquine said this was past Saturday already. Did that? Oh, okay. So you already did it. Okay.
Okay, cool.
He's up there cracking up. Who was this? I think this is Marquine. Missy. No, this is Missy says AJ has done a great job. I am so proud of him. Okay. All right. And Michael King is Michael King says be at APW April 26th, the day after my birthday, by the way. Meet Cassandra Golden. She is worth the trip. Okay. Michael, okay.
I know that name. I do know that name. I know the name. Never seen it. Our man, the Golden Boy Wrestling, if you want to call him that. The Rolls Royce of wrestling, Mr. Brino Royce. No, we haven't said your name. We have not said your name yet, sir. But trust me, this is just episode 1. There are going to be more to come, and I'm sure your name is going to get on the list. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
All right.
Definitely got to talk about Brino.
Definitely going to talk about Brino, man. And Michael says, best for last, I'm guessing.
Okay.
And Missy said, Mushmouth. What in the world? Who is you talking about, Mushmouth? Who is you talking
You
about,
might have been
Missy?
talking about me when I got all, you know.
Scott Larson says the Rolls Royce of wrestling, Bruno Royce. Jeez. All right. All right. Let's see here. Bruno says, Michael King, that's why we pay you the big bucks. Okay, okay.
Just a second, Chris.
And Missy says, Bruno, I am super proud of you. And Bruno says, y'all got to come to the show next week. All right. We'll do, Bruno. We'll do. All right. All right, Harry. So who's next on the list, Harry? Who's next on the list, man? We got AJ.
I don't know. Just a second, I'll let you know.
All right, man. All right.
Who we're gonna roll with. All right, man. Let's talk about Boomer Payne.
Oh, legend.
Talk about Boomer Payne. Yeah, no doubt. Boomer Payne now. Boomer Payne is running some kind of like construction type deal. You know, he's not in the business. So as far as Battle Zone Wrestling, Battle Zone Wrestling right now is defunct, is at a standstill because Boomer Payne is pretty much doing something out here with construction.
And he's all over the world, man.
So they do some special type, some kind of special type deal, I think, with like guardrails or something. And they're one of the only companies that can do it. And they got the government contracts to do it. So they all over the place, man, doing this thing. So Boomer Payne is not rolling right now. Usually we saw him last week, seeing him at 3 count, and he was doing his Battle Zone thing. And we hardly ever miss any of his shows. But Boomer Payne, man.
That's a legend, boy.
Yeah, first time we saw Boomer Payne was in HWA. Now, Boomer Payne, our first interaction with him, what we saw of him was Boomer Payne was, Boomer Payne doing the booking out at HWA. And man, you talking about, and we got to talk to him the first show. After the first show, we sat down, we talked with him, we talked with Cruiser Lewis, we talked with Chris Thunder Anderson. Incredible guy to talk to. Incredible knowledge of this business, man. I mean, you got to respect. You sit down, you're gonna respect every single word that he says. And you talking about somebody who had great ideas and somebody who knew how to run a show and know how to finish a show and know how to surprise you. It's Boomer Payne, man. Incredible. I love him, Chris.
Man, man. And Boomer is, like you said, man, a great mind for this business, man.
No doubt.
I mean, and a true student, man. This man watches. I mean, he knows how he wants a match to go.
Oh yeah.
He knows what each person in the match is supposed to do. And he just don't be like, okay, this is what you're going to do. Go out there and go do it. The man sits, you may not know this, but the man sits out in the crowd and watches the match as they go on.
Exactly.
If they execute what he needs to have executed. And man, because he is so particular and he wants things done a certain way, his announcer one time at Battle Zone in Williamston kept messing up on some announcements he was saying between matches. And I think he messed up like 3 times. And you hear a voice in the back. No, he messed up 3 times. And it's on an announcement or something. It was William Rollins. And the 4th time, he got it right. He got the announcement right. And you hear this voice in the back. About doggone time you got something right. I was like, and I just looked because where we were sitting, we looked just straight back to the back, and I was like, what's Boomer doing? Just
yep. Like, Boomer, you watching everything. Yeah, it's like, actually. Yeah, correction on that, man. That's actually Philip Rollins. Philip. Okay, Philip. Williams' brother. But yeah, Boomer, man.
He is particular about himself, but he is. That's his passion for his business. He wants it ran a certain way. And like you said, man, been around some of the greats in this business. Because that night we were at HWA, he pulled back the curtain and showed us who's in his phone contacts.
Yes.
But I was like,
oh yeah.
I had nothing else to say up there. I was like, all right, you got it, dog. You got it,
no
big
doubt,
dog.
no doubt. And look, he just and as a wrestler, he's part of that the Unbookables crew. That's what, and we're gonna talk about the other two of the Unbookables. I mean, I think there's a few of them. It's not just the three here, but there's a couple other ones that that's in that crew. But yeah, he was part of that the Unbookables, and him as a wrestler, man, hardcore. Some of the hardest chops I've seen out here on the indie scene. Well, the hardest chops I've seen on the indie scene. This guy could lay him in. I mean, if you're gonna go in there and you're gonna wrestle Boomer Payne, you better be ready for a fist fight. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the guy is rough, rugged, and he looks mean. He's one of these guys from back in the day, like what I grew up with. And back when I grew up, man, I don't care what form of discipline that you grew up with in, as far as in fighting, fighting as far as back when I was growing up, Chris, and I know people think they sit here and they think they can fight now or whatever, but growing up, I hate to say it, when I grew up, and you grew up in that era too, but people, man, street fights in neighborhoods that me and you grew up in, they was hellish, man. They was hellish. And if you boxed or whatever, it did not matter. Even as a person, as a street fighter, a boxer or whatever, we was legitimately scared of a lot of these wrestlers. We were scared of them. And they just, a wrestler back then, you think these wrestlers can beat up anybody, man. They can beat up these boxers. They can beat up karate fighters and things like that. And I'm talking about, only time you think a karate fighter or a boxer or somebody that can beat these wrestlers or was legit. These guys had to be legit. I'm talking about Bruce Lee. I'm talking about Bruce Lee.
I'm not
not talking about no Kendall Windham, but look, man, people, I'm just saying, Boomer Payne just reminded me of these tough wrestlers that you just wouldn't mess with. I mean, he reminded me of people like, hey, your Buzz Sawyers, your Ox Bakers, and people like that. Even though he did not have that mean type, he has a mean type persona, but not, not the characters that they are. He didn't play no character. He just Boomer Payne.
That's him.
Yeah, he just him. He just looked like, hey, one of these guys you don't want to mess with, that he can whoop your tail, man. He's gonna beat up not just the average man on the streets. He's gonna beat up, that 70, 80, 90% of guys he's gonna be able to take out. And so, man, yeah, very impressed with Boomer Payne, man. That guy. And I saw him against PJ Ellis. And PJ Ellis is a big, 6'7", 280 pounds, 280 on a good day, man. Him and Boomer Payne gave him hell. TJ Boss, him and Boomer Payne, boom, boom, boom. They teamed up there for a while, but they ended up having their battles over there in 3 count. But man, incredible, man. That guy's an incredible specimen, incredible wrestler, man. Legit tough guy. Now, I don't know how he is on the street, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to find out. Just put it that way. Tough guy, man. Tough guy. Let me plug up my thing, man.
Man, you never had nothing plugged up.
Man, be quiet, man. I thought I had it plugged up. I got it plugged into my computer, Chris, but it's not plugged up back here.
Oh my goodness.
It's so funny, man. It's so funny. All right, Chris, go ahead and smile on Boomer Payne, man, and then next we'll get
Boomer has won multiple championships, man. He's been HWA champion. He's been tag team champions, man. And Scott Larson even says right here, Boomer Payne invented one of the greatest indie factions in our area, the Unbookables Great Wrestling Mind. You ain't never lied, Scott. If anybody knows, Scott knows, because Scott has seen him up at HWA for a lot of years. Scott's been going up there, man. He knows about how Boomer operates, how he works. And, man, those are some of the greatest matches that we saw up there when Boomer, not saying that they don't have great matches now, but when we were going up there.
Oh, yeah.
Boomer was running the show and had some amazing, amazing matches. And Boomer was like, he would always look at us and kind of give us this wink and look and a little smile. But like, oh boy, so what's about to happen? Boy, that Boomer Payne finish coming. And it was always a swerve. It was always a swerve. You'd be like, oh, this is how it's going down. And then Boomer was like, just wait. I was like, I'm like, Boomer, what you got cooking, man? What you got cooking? And then when it comes out, you be like, wow.
Oh yeah. And you know what? And what I really love about Boomer, I mean, he always came to me and you. He always came to us, and he always wanted, he always talked to me and Chris, wanted to know our thoughts on it and what we thought about, the performance that just happened. He always wanted us to give our opinions on the surprises, because he always had a surprise or whatever. Hey, he didn't have to talk to us, man. He didn't have to talk to us, but he did. He always came and he wanted to know our opinions on it. So yeah, big ups to my man Boomer Payne, man. And hey, whatever you doing in life, hey, I hope all the success in the world to you, man. Straight up, hey, you come back to wrestling, hey, that's a plus for us. But if you staying out here on the scene, hey, stay out here, man. Be like Michael King. Be like Michael King. Make that money out here, man. Straight up outside of wrestling, if that's what you're gonna do, man. But hey, a big ups to my man.
Scott Lawson says he's a 3-time Indy Hall of Famer.
Oh wow, man! Wow.
I'm sure there's not too many people that can lay claim to that fact.
No, there's no doubt about that. But yeah, man, let's move on. But yeah, my man Boomer Payne, hey, he is the man, man. 5 stars to Boomer Payne all around, man, in this game.
And Boomer, and I'm gonna say this, man. If anybody can get this to Boomer, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna record saying this, Boomer. If you never come back to wrestling for whatever reason, man, if you never come back, man, thank you for the memories and everything that you allowed us to be a part of as fans, even those that are in the business. I will go on record and speak for them. Thank you for allowing them to be a part of the business with you or share the ring with you, man. Thank you, Boomer, for everything, man. Thank you.
No doubt. All right, Chris, let's move on, man. Let's talk about. All right. Let's go down south, man. Let's go down south. All right, Georgia. Our first entry into Georgia, man. The first stop that we had in Georgia, East Denali, Georgia, man. Hey, is
SWA.
Yeah, SWA, man. Hey, is it 144 livestock livestock road? East Denali, Georgia, man. I'm thinking it's one of those 244 livestock road, man, in East Denali, Georgia, Stevens County. Yeah. Oh man, the man, Curtis Coleman, man.
Oh, Curtis Coleman. Curtis, yes.
Quickly. We saw this guy. Man, I'm like, what in the world's going on? Now,
hold on now. We gotta
but like I say, I got some things to say too, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I got some things to say.
Just to let y'all know, if you've seen Curtis, it wasn't the Curtis that you see now.
That's what I'm about to say. Curtis Coleman. You guys brought him up to the upstate. He came to the upstate. He said, after me and Chris went down there, we got online. We started talking about it, bragging about him. He said he started getting all these, so all these promoters and people started calling him from South Carolina and everything like that. But he came to the upstate, and I think he came down and he worked at AML. He did a couple shows there, and then he ended up going up there and working with AJ Frost and all those guys. But Curtis Coleman, you guys did not see the Curtis Coleman that Chris and I first saw. Now, this Curtis Coleman, in my opinion, was even – I'm not going to say he's better than the Curtis Coleman that we have now. Curtis is still great. He's awesome from what we've seen now. Of course, we know he's out of the business right now. But this Curtis Coleman that we saw, whole different Curtis Coleman. And, but Chris, go ahead, man. I'm going to let you go. And like I said, I'm not going to steal your thunder, man. Talk about Curtis, man. Talk about Curtis.
Curtis, man. Curtis, at the time when we met him, man, the belt collector.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This dude, if you had 12 promotions in Georgia, he was a champion in all 12.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, this joker had 2 belts around his waist, had 2 on each arm. I think he had 1 around his neck.
One on the shoulder, something like that, man. But
one on his shoulder. I was like, what to do? What? Huh? I'm like, who you think you is? The Ultimo Dragon?
I'm like, man, look.
Used to do that, man. I was like, who is this dude?
And check this out, guys. Curtis was not the 240, 250-pound muscle man that you see now. Curtis, Curtis was a big boy. I mean, Curtis was
about what, 3?
Yeah, Curtis was around 290, 300, 310 pounds or whatever. Yeah, and he was up there. He was a 300-pounder. Curtis was Curtis had a lot of weight on him, man. And man, hey, he got in there. First thing I noticed about Curtis Coleman, he had this CC, CC, on the back, CC on his trunks and everything. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, he's got all these titles. I'm like, who is this? Some knockoff, some Big Van Vader, man, go Bam Bam Bigelow knockoff. I'm serious. I'm serious. He came off looking like that. I liked it though. I really did like it. I'm sitting there, and the ring announcer, man, was saying, we heard that you can, no, not the ring announcer. Somebody was in there, man. Somebody was being his spokesperson. Said he's not only a champion, he also can sing. You know what I'm saying? So Curtis, he got on the mic and everybody said, "Oh no!" And then Curtis just started belting out these doggone lyrics, man. He's singing or whatever. Me and Chris, we just cracking up. We're like, this dude is singing, man. It was horrible, man. I'm just like horrible. That was so funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, so the next 2 or 3 shows that we saw him in down at East Denali, he was just always singing, man. It was so hilarious. I look forward to seeing almost as much as seeing him wrestle. And
even sometimes in his matches, he was just be beating on the dude. He was like, all right, I'm gonna stop. Give me the mic.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and sing while I beat this dude. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, you're in the middle of a match, you're gonna just start singing. What is this? And I'm like, what in the world they got going on down here in Georgia?
Yeah, man, that joke was incredible, man.
And oh my gosh, and could move.
Oh gosh, wow, man, Luke moved like a 220 pounder, man, 210 pounder.
I was like, ain't no way.
Yeah, and look, and hit those 3 moonsaults, and I know everybody knows from APW Asylum here now, and over at AML or whatever, you guys have seen this guy hit those moonsaults and everything. Man, we saw this when he was a 300 pounder. This guy was doing it as a 300 pounder, just as smooth as he did it, as he's doing it now. You think he's impressive now, and I know a lot of people, Mike, a lot of people, Nancy, and a lot of people that's friends with us that's over there at APW, seen him. They're very impressed with Curtis Coleman. You guys think y'all impressed with him now? Go back to YouTube and look at some of the things when he was a lot heavier. That guy, man, he was incredible. And we just like, what in the world's going on here? Who is this dude? Me, you, and he impressed Danny the same way. We were just like, this is unreal. And one of the referee, what is his name, man? Good to say, Brandon Todd, my friend. Brandon Todd. First week, he asked me to come out, and I told Chris, let's go out here to East Denali, Georgia. Let's go out and see what's going on. And we went out there, man. And you talking about a crowd of people? You talking about indie wrestling fans?
Oh my God, man! Look, this building. How many square feet you think this building is? This warehouse is, man. Just what estimate? How big you think this thing is?
Probably because it's wide. You got to look at the probably 2,200 feet.
Okay, so let's just say 2,200
feet. Yeah.
Okay, just estimating here, guys.
Oh yeah.
Now we know wrestling fans are very vocal, very rambunctious, sometimes obnoxious, nerve-wracking kind of fans, but they're passionate about what they love. Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you, from the time the first fan comes in to the time the last fan leaves the building, non-stop hollering, screaming, chanting, booing, cheering, even during intermission, if these folks are rowdy. I was like, what in the? I'm like, ain't no matches going on. They still over here creating ruckus.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's an incredible fan base.
Ooh.
I mean, very incredible fan base.
Never experienced nothing like that. Never.
No, I haven't either. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
Me, you, and Danny, we were all just like, these people don't stop. They don't stop.
No, they don't. I wanted to go this past Saturday. I wanted to go down this past Saturday. We haven't been in a while, but we definitely need to get back there, man. I wish, Chris, now he's in management with his company and all that. So Chris working mostly nights, so we don't get out as much as we used to. But man, I would love, I got to get back down to East Denali, man. Very special place. But I tell you what, the most memorable Is, man. Hey, my man Curtis Coleman, along with a couple other people, man. And one of the greatest matches that I've seen out here on the indie scene with him and Ryan. I forgot Ryan's last name. They put on a great 5.5 a match. I will never forget that. You know, Ryan, I forgot his last name, wears the jersey all the time, the Chicago Bulls jersey.
I can't think of
outstanding match. And look, I know Ryan got in trouble or whatever, but hey, all I can do is remember what he did in the ring. He got into some trouble here. You know, I don't know if he's in jail now or what, but man, him and Curtis Coleman put on a match that's never going to be forgotten. I'll never forget that match. And Curtis came to me and, you know, talking to us about that. But Curtis will always come to us and talk to us about his matches before he went out there. And Curtis will ask us, you know, our opinions on his matches, man. You know, Curtis wasn't really sure of himself sometimes. We like, Curtis, we're looking at him like,
bro.
You know, like, dude.
Some of the things you are doing, bro. I mean, bro, some of the things you're doing, you ain't supposed to be doing, bro. You making it look like just it's second nature. Yeah, man.
I'm just like, dude, man, you are the most impressive thing that I've seen since Aquaman. The most impressive thing since I seen Spider-Man climb 6 buildings, man, within doggone 15 seconds, man. You are just man. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but go back and look at some of his old footage, y'all. Go look him up on YouTube. Look at some of his old footage. I'm trying to tell you, man. And then when he lost the weight, man.
Oh God.
When he lost the weight, muscled up.
Yeah, big time. Got into that gym and worked hard. He did not rest on his laurels, man. He didn't rest on his laurels. Being out here, being a great independent wrestler, he said, look, I have to go ahead and make it to the next level. So he went out here, man. He pumped the iron, man. He put in the hours. He put in the time, and turned out to be this great physical specimen that you see. And
I look at and I sometimes I hit his page and I look at that before and after pictures, man. Yeah, and I'm just like,
incredible.
Wow.
You know,
I'm just like, that's all I can say is just wow, man. I mean, the man really put in some work, man.
Yes, he did.
He put in some serious work. He was like, okay, I'm good, but I'm trying to get great.
Hey, there's no doubt about it. And you know, I know a lot of it had to do with it. You know, a lot of family. You know, family issues. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but you know, family issues, and you know, he wanted to do it for that reason too. You know, hey, Curtis, man, not trying to put anything out here, but I do know. You know, I talked to Brandon and everything, but man, you have amazing transformation, amazing.
Yeah.
And hey, continue going. And I know you out of the business right now for, you know, certain things that happen to you. You can't be you're not medically cleared, but if you ever get a chance back into this business, man, hey, we will love to see that again. I mean, everybody, man, you're a plus one for the sport. What else can you say?
And I'm gonna say this, man. I to a degree understand where you're coming from, where you love this business, you love what you do, you want to keep doing what you're doing, but unfortunately, life and circumstances have prevented that from happening.
Oh yeah.
But as you know, and as I know, and millions of others know, that you can still be around this business, still continue your legacy, but you can do it a different way. But you know this. You know this.
There's no doubt.
There's always place for Curtis Coleman somewhere.
Oh, yes.
Somewhere, whether it's commentary, ring announcer, refereeing, or even a trainer. There's always places. There's always places for Curtis Coleman to be, man.
He's a promoter too. He's a promoter up in Georgia. Continue doing your thing.
Man. So continue doing your thing, man. Continue doing your thing, and pass down that wisdom, man. Pass down those jewels that you've learned, that somebody passed on to you to the next generation, man.
Oh yeah,
and you never know. You might have somebody be the next Curtis Coleman or be the first them. So yeah, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Matter of fact, I want to get some of these comments real quick.
Okay.
Richie Matthews says, yeah. And our man I've had up on the screen for a while, Curtis Coleman himself said, thank you guys so much. I'm not worthy. Man, I'm just blessed and thankful. Well, Curtis, man, you are, man, thank you, man. No thank you for the memories, man. Thank you for the memories and everything that you've shared with us, man. And everything, man. Just thank you, man. Just thank you.
One of the most humble people that I've met as far as in
Oh
this
my gosh,
business
yes.
and as far as in this world, man. I mean, as far as growing up and he's one of these people that like wow, man, I'd love to sit down with this guy and just just talk, man, just hang out. I mean, he's an incredible person, man. He's a very engaging person, and man, yeah, continue doing what you're doing. And look, your son is an athlete. Hey, continue to continue to be involved in his life, man, and push him as far as he can go. Because your son is doing some amazing things, and hey, continue to loving your wife. I think it's fiance and wife. I'm not sure exactly. I can't remember exactly what's up with that, but I know you're very proud of that. You're very proud of your relationship that way. But yeah, everything in life, man. Hey, continue to do well, man, and hey, whatever you need from the Straight Up Wrestling Show, you need me and Chris. Hey, all you got to do is pretty much reach out, man. And I know your wife, man, loves Greenville, South Carolina. Anytime you guys want to come down, hey, your first meal is on me, man. Definitely come on out. Hey, chill with me and Chris, man. We definitely would love to have you, but I'll take you to any restaurant here in Greenville, South Carolina, man. We'll sit and chill and talk, have a good time. Straight up.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, let's roll on, man.
All right. Next, we got Johnny Beans in the building. It says, "What's up, Chris and Harry? News: MJF is recovering from an injury. While he's not listed on the roster, he was not attending AEW backstage show since no word on return or not."
Okay.
All right. James L says, "What's up, Harry and Chris? Oh God, there's news that Rhea Ripley is injured. Woo!
Oh,
she
James,
might keep the belt or not. No word yet what they're gonna do. Oh wow." Richie Matthews, Chris saying, "Bro, Matt Riddle to APW confirmed." Man, stop it. Stop that. Stop
snap.
Wow. Stop that, Ricky. You need to stop that. All right, man. Curtis says, motivates me to come back somehow. LOL, I wish.
Okay, yeah, wow, man. Oh boy, yeah, Curtis. Yeah, just take care of yourself, brother. That's all we hope for. You take care of yourself.
And Curtis also says my son is 14 and he's in the business. Okay.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
And
man, I can't wait to see him when he start doing this thing big time. Go ahead.
And he also says he's great.
Oh yes.
And Richie Matthews says Curtis Coleman as a coach, like with NXT, Norman Smiley, Terry Taylor, Matt Bloom, Shawn Michaels, Fit Finley, Steve Corino. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
All right, and
Medi's in the house. What's up, Medi?
Medi, good evening, brothers. What's going on, Medi? Glad you made it in.
All right, Medi's in the house. Appreciate you coming
in. Harry? Who we got next, Harry?
All right, man. Let's see. Yeah, because I went to Curtis. All right, let's see who we can go to next here. Give me just a second, Chris. Let me pull that up, man. Let me pull it up. I mean, I do know the names and stuff like that. Let's see. So we talked about AJ Styles. Then we talked about
AJ Frost, man. AJ Frost.
I don't know why in the world sometimes I just get AJ and now I say Styles. All right, AJ Frost, and sometimes I call Styles Frost. All right, we talked about AJ Frost, and then we talked about our man Curtis Coleman. All right, we talked about Boomer Payne too. Then
we talked about Boomer.
Boomer knocked out, so we got 4 more, I think. All right, man, let's talk about your boy Christopher Prince, man.
Hold on, man. Hold on. I gotta do it, man. I gotta do it, man. All right, man. Whoa, daddy.
Oh, wow, man.
I had to do it, man. I had to do it.
Whoa, daddy. Mr. Whoa, daddy. Hey, look,
hey, well, that's my man.
Hey,
Prince, what up, whoa, daddy?
Hey, look. We know we both have said this. We both have said this, and hey, hate to hurt anybody's feelings out here on the indie scene because hey, we hold a lot of people up in high esteem. We've already said our number one guy. I mean, as far as wrestling ability, guys, as far as overall wrestlers. Now we rate them as overall wrestlers. The number one guy we've seen in this business, man, on the indie scene, Curtis Coleman. We just talked about it. Mm-hmm. But Chris's favorite, and his favorite. Now my favorite is the same guy, man, who's the number one wrestler. My number one wrestler, that's Curtis Coleman. That's my favorite. But favorite wrestler, favorite entertainer.
Oh, daddy.
Whoa, Daddy.
Whoa, Daddy.
Christopher Prince, that's Chris's man. So Chris, I'm going to go ahead and talk about him. I'm trying to remember his name before it was Christopher Prince. It was Chris something else. It was Chris something else.
What did he call Chris Phoenix? Chris Phoenix. Chris Phoenix.
Yeah, Chris Phoenix. Yeah, Chris Phoenix. When we first saw him, he was Chris Phoenix. All right, go ahead and talk about Chris Phoenix, man. Christopher Prince.
Man, yeah, man. He was first time I saw him, man, was Uprise Pro Wrestling up in Hendersonville, North Carolina, man. And Uprise was my first time ever, being up in North Carolina, seeing that show. And me and Danny went. Like I said, you were supposed to come, but you had to be a judge at a boxing match, some boxing matches.
Yeah.
And it was like a whole different style from what me and Danny had seen in South Carolina. A whole different style.
No doubt. No doubt.
And, I mean, you got wrestlers all over North Carolina, Tennessee, D.C., Washington, D.C., Virginia. You had all these people converging. I'm like, and you had some coming up from South Carolina that we knew.
Yes.
And I was like, but the style was so different. And Christopher Prince was one of the ones I saw, man. And I was like, this dude is, wow. He had a swagger, man. Still to this day, the dude has a swagger like you wouldn't believe, man. I mean, he came out like, hey, my stuff don't stink. And even if it does, you can't tell me otherwise because it still don't stink.
Exactly. I'm gonna walk in that ring. I'm gonna do a few moves, and hey, you might not like my arrogance, but hey,
and you might not like how I get things done. And you might not like how I get things done, but hey, the proof is in the pudding. I get it done.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. It's like every single move that he makes, you're gonna like it. It's like he's looking back at you. You're gonna like it, you know.
Crack me up, man. I mean, and the guy his moveset is amazing. We've seen him at 3 count. We've seen him at 3 count. We've seen him. Where else we've seen him? We've seen him at HWA.
Yes.
When I called and predicted that he would win the Holly
Memorial, the Holly Yasku Memorial Cup.
The Holly Memorial Cup, and he won it. And I was like, just happy. And Harris looking at me like, man, if you don't sit your tail down.
Yeah, Gene Perry's daughter's.
Gene Perry's daughter is her memorial, and he won that, man. And
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Go ahead, continue on. He beat my man, so I didn't like it. All right, continue on.
Yeah. He beat Drew Hood, didn't he?
Yeah, he beat Drew Hood. Yes, he did.
That was your man. But I called it. I was like, Christopher Prince is gonna be my man. He gonna win it. He gonna take it all. And I stuck with it, man. He ended up winning, and man, now he's out here doing the tag team thing, man. And you might catch him every once in a while still doing singles action. Christopher Prince, man, the guy is just amazing. And even if you look him up on Facebook, watch his promos, man. His promos are captivating, man. His promos, you got to listen to what he's saying, man, because he's like new school with a touch of old school.
Yeah, yes, he is. And that's one thing I noticed. I didn't get to see him that first week that we went up there to Uprise, but I saw him that second show that we went out, and you and I, we interviewed him. He wrestled Buggy Wright. So yes. We went out and big ups to Buggy Wright because that was an incredible match. The first time you and Danny got to see that. The first match, everybody, when I went up there for that second show, everybody's talking about this match. Everybody. So everybody's talking about this match and talking about how great that match was between him and Buggy. And that pretty much was the promotion that was marketing for the next show. The great match that those two had. Everybody came to see that rematch, Buggy versus Chris Phoenix and Buggy Wright.
At the time, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we got to talk to Buggy. I think before the show, we got to talk to Buggy, and we talked to some other wrestlers, but we didn't get to talk to Christopher Prince. Chris Phoenix. Chris Phoenix at the time. We didn't get to talk to him until after the show. And then Chris came over and Chris started talking, and I was stunned. It kind of stunned me a little bit. He was interviewing him because, like you said, he is a cross his interviews are a cross between today and yesteryear, and it stunned me, man. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what? This dude is talking like, he's talking
because he was actually
90s, and he's talking about to sound like a young man from today, but he's talking like he's from the 80s or the 90s. Yeah. It's like, he studied up and pretty much to perfect his promos. So
he's definitely a student of the game, man.
Yes.
And because when we first got there, we were set up, man. And matter of fact, we had Luka Daniels came in and talked to us. I remember that Luka Daniels came in there and talked to us. Our man Luka. Big shout out to him, man. And I'm sure he's going to be on this list at some point, I'm sure, in one of the volumes we're going to do. And then a few minutes later, we were talking about something else because there was a tournament going on. And then next thing I know, he comes over here, man. He's like, what are you joking? And Harry's like, wait, who, what? And I was like, Harry, that's him. And you were just like, who is this? What? And I think that was your first experience. I want to say what?
No, I already knew who Luka was.
No, I'm talking about Christopher Prince because he came over after.
Yeah, that was the first time I didn't know who Chris was. But Chris, very impressive. And I got to see that second match that him and Buggy had, and which was really good. But everybody, a lot of people was talking about that first one was better. But it's hard to imagine that the first one was better. But there was a lot of heat between those guys, and they put on a great show. Young guys, man, very young guys. And you talking about the future of this business. And Christopher Prince, next I saw him was a 3 count. And he's putting on that muscle, man. He's getting a little solid, getting a little bit bigger. And in that tournament, one of these guys, and I don't know if Michael King's still on here, Brino Royce, he wrestled Brino in that doggone tournament too. That was a pretty good match there, man. Hey, but Brino has gotten better since then. Brino, don't think I haven't kept up with your career, man. Excuse me, guys. Hold on for a second, man. Hold on for a second. Let's see. Continue going.
All right. So, but Christopher Prince, man, he's definitely one of the guys that definitely keep your eye out on, man. If you've never seen him, go look him up on Facebook, man. Check him out, Christopher Prince, man. This guy, he's special, man. He's special. He is a heck of an athlete, man. Heck of a wrestler. I mean, I just, when I first saw him, man, I was just like, wow, this guy is something serious. And his style, man, because he comes out to Ain't No Stopping Us Now by Queen. And it's just, I mean, he's an awesome wrestler, man. And like I said, he's out now doing the tag team thing, man. But heck of an athlete, man. Wonderful guy, man. And will, definitely go out of his way for some fans, man. And everything, guys. I mean, he is definitely a heck of an athlete. One of the guys. I'm proud of him, man. I truly do enjoy watching Christopher Prince whenever I get a chance to watch him, man, and see Christopher Prince, man. He is something else, man.
No doubt. Yeah, Christopher Prince, amazing. I mean, really, he really is. I didn't know how. Well, I knew he was gonna do great things, but I'm a little skeptical of him because what he did, he won that tournament. But we've seen him, and I think Christopher Prince too. Did he wrestle at the Union show that we went to? I think he did. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. No, he didn't. He didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't wrestle that one.
That's true.
He didn't
wrestle. Man, Christopher Prince. Another one of these top stars, man. Is somebody
and the tag team he's wrestling with now is called Bad Magic.
Yeah, very good tag team. Very good tag team too. And I know Scott Larson at #Truth just did. I think he pretty much talked to both of those guys, had them on his show. I was supposed to have them on the show, something like that. But I know that team, man. They are pretty much running up and down going to other states and doing their thing. So, hey, Chris got off for just a minute here. But, hey, I don't know what's going on with him. But, that is his favorite wrestler, man. But Chris Prince, I want him to come back on so he can have pretty much the final words of him. But, Chris Prince, man, definitely doing some great work out here. And him and that other guy that he's teaming up with. What is that guy's name, Chris? I can't think of the guy's name.
sure, man. I
can't
can't think of his name off the top of my head, man.
But yeah, they are doing some incredible things, man. They wrestled
really
for
are.
some big companies in Nashville down and did some things. But yeah, they're doing their thing, man, straight up. So
Nathan Cross.
Yeah, him and Nathan Cross, man. So hey, I don't know how long they're gonna stay as a tag team, but hey, either solo or tag team wrestling, you definitely need to see Christopher Prince, Christopher Phoenix, Christopher Prince, whatever you want to call him, but I'm going to call him Christopher Prince because that's what his name is now. And Christopher Prince, you never will get disappointed when you see Christopher Prince in action. Straight up.
No, not at all, man. Not at all.
All right, let's get some comments, Chris. All right, go ahead. Finish up.
More comments. All right, let's get some more of these comments real quick, man. We got all right, let's see. All right, Ben Miller says Curtis can be an ambassador for independent wrestling. Yeah, he definitely can. He can definitely do that, man. Richie Matthews says, "Whoa, daddy." Yeah, my man. Whoa, daddy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Luke Childress says, "Do y'all rank anything else
Like
far
what,
as
Luke?
in wrestling? Do we rank anything else? Well, I know we've done wrestlers. Obviously, you know, we do matches and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
but,
I mean, you know, as far as wrestlers, we give them a ranking. We do a ranking analysis. So I mean, your dad was the first one we did. I think you know. Mm-hmm. So we do that. As far as you know, anything. I mean, you know, we've done announcers. We've done that before. We done a show, and that's when Michael King was still with us. So yeah, we've done black wrestlers not too long ago, and you know, doing Black History Month. We done the black wrestlers, and we had who's on with us. I think Scott Larson and Jim Rogers was on with us at the time. So it was legend. It was it was not Danny's old partner, the announcer.
Golly, bro.
Can't even think of his name right now, man.
I got his face in my head. If you didn't tell me, I would have been. I
can't even think of his name right now. But we had a couple other people on with us doing that show. And we do a lot of, you know, we rank other people outside. We do other things outside of, as far as, outside of matches, we rank other things. As far as in wrestling, we try to rank everything. So, but we definitely don't do it as much as we rank, because we do most of the things that we do on the Straight Up Wrestling Show is live shows. So we rank those matches, you know. So, all right, Chris, go on.
All right. Vance Keyshawn's cracking up. Vance Keyshawn says, "What's up, Harry and Chris?"
What's up, Vance? My man.
Robert Brown's in the building. Lafayette, Indiana in the building. What's happening, y'all?
What's up, Robert?
All right. Lucas Thomas says, "Harry, come back and get some Whoa Daddy tea." Saying Christopher Burton.
Okay. Whoa Daddy. Yeah. Hey, I can't do it like Chris. Chris got that Whoa Daddy down, boy.
Whoa Daddy.
I didn't know what he was doing when he first did that, man. Then I saw, I was like, wow, what is he doing, man? All right,
man. Ben Cook said, "Chris, you about to make me cry, OG. Ain't no stopping us now by Queen." Yeah. No, OJ, that was Whitehead and McFadden. No, okay. Well, it sounds like Queen when you hear it. That's why
ain't no stopping us now.
No, not that one. No,
I didn't think so. The one by Whitehead and McFadden is "Ain't No Stopping Us Now." That we're on the move.
No, I'm talking about Don't Stop Us Now. It's Queen. It's if you hear it's Queen. If you hear the version if you hear the version he come out with, it's Queen.
Yeah, because I know he ain't coming out with no Whitehead and McFadden. I didn't think so.
It ain't that. It ain't that. It's Queen. It's Queen.
Yeah,
man.
Okay, cool.
Jack Roby, okay, Harry. I want to check out Christopher. Check out Christopher Burton. I mean Chris Knight. I mean Chris Prince, man. Christopher Prince.
Yeah, Christopher Prince. Yeah, to come up.
Missy Childress.
You see Chris Phoenix too. That is the same person. Go ahead.
Yeah. Missy Childress says, "I think he's talking about refs and managers." Okay, we haven't done it. We haven't done that. We ain't done refs and managers yet.
Yeah, we did do managers. We did do managers, Chris. Me, you, and Michael King. We did managers.
Oh yeah,
You get
well
that?
we haven't done
Yeah,
referees, and we haven't done
that's been
referees.
a long time though. When we,
Ooh,
that was a few
golly.
years ago when we did that show.
Ooh,
Michael
that
King
must have
was
been like
still
when
with
we first.
us.
Oh, we was.
That was
Oh
like
yeah,
two and
we
a
was
half
first.
years ago. But yeah, we did do a show with that, and I think we need to revisit that. We'll revisit
Okay.
that, and we'll
Okay.
do refs too. Now, as far as refs, man, look, I'm gonna be straight up
Mm.
honest. I'm not like a lot of people. A lot of people get into these refs. They look at these refs and see how everything is. I pay more attention on the indie scene than I do on the professional scene as far as refs. I really don't care who these
Yeah.
refs are. I really don't. But some people do. Some people can name every referee out here, man. I can't do that. You know, that's not my thing.
I know I can't. I know, Lord,
Yeah,
no,
that's
like,
not my thing. All right, Jerry Brown, what's up? Go
Jerry
ahead.
Brown, Harry gonna turn to Ric Flair saying, "Whoa, Daddy," and see what happened on Dynamite this Wednesday.
Boy, Dynamite, boy. Woo! Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting this Wednesday, Jerry. Very interesting. All right, Christopher.
I can't even do it. I can't do it. But Jerry Brown said, "What's up, guys?"
What's up, Jerry?
Richie Matthews says, "No, Chris, saying don't stop us now by Queen."
Yeah.
Richie Matthews said, "Don't stop me now."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. But yeah, Luke, man, hey, that's something we probably gonna have to look into. Luke, as far as ranking some of these managers, referees, we can rank them. But I tell you what, my number one referee of all times, the best referee I've ever seen, Tommy. No, not Tommy, but let's see, Tommy Young, man, NWA's old Tommy Young. That was a great referee. Straight up, Nick Patrick wasn't bad either. And speaking of Nick Patrick, we got to get back down to deep soft wrestling, man, in Atlanta, Georgia. So, all right, go ahead. Let's roll. Let's roll on. Z1 is in the house. What's that?
Right, who's next? Who we got next, man? Who we got?
No,
next?
go ahead and get Z1, man. Go ahead and get his comment first.
Okay. All right, Z1 said, "Harry and Chris, can you do a top 10 wrestler ranking from AEW, TNA, and AEW each month across organizations like a monthly show?" That's something we can look into, man. We
definitely can look into. I don't know about the TNA thing, man, because Chris don't get to see it as much. But yeah, possibly, man. That's all I can really say right now on that. But definitely, man, definitely would love to do that. All right, Earl Hebner. I think Richie Matthews is next, Chris.
Yeah, Earl Hebner. Richie Matthews said, and then Lucas Thomas is cracking up, man.
Okay. All right, man. Let me go. Let's see. So we're gonna roll with the next wrestler. So we got 4 in so far, right?
Yep.
All right, man. Let's go with Chris Thunder Anderson, man. Chris Thunder Anderson. Part of the Unbookables, with Boomer Payne and Cruiser Lewis, who we're gonna talk about too. So, man, let's go ahead and roll with Chris Thunder Anderson, Mr. Christopher Burke.
The man whose hands has crippled more men than polio.
Hey, that's what he said, man. Hey, he had me jacked up too when he said it, man. He grabbed me, man. He was like, hey, you see this? You see this, man? You see this? I'm telling you, hey, that man got some big fists, man. That man got a big hand. I can tell you that straight up.
Yeah, man. And I was like, well, ain't too many people done jacked up Harry and live, boy. I'm like,
hey, look, all I can say is this. If that guy get his hands on you, man,
boy, go ahead and make peace with your particular God, boy.
Hey, my whole thing is if the full rage come out of Chris Thunder Anderson with the hands the size of this guy, and what he can do in wrestling,
man,
hey, he can put a hurting on some people. And man, look, I was very impressed with him. And as far as on this indie scene. Now, I know I've talked about Curtis Coleman, how much I love Curtis Coleman, how impressed I was with him, how impressed I was with AJ and the way he's able to engage, the way he works the crowd. Very impressed with that. But the most impressive person that I saw in this industry, when the first person that really struck me, and look, I'm going all the way back to 1975. That's when I really started paying attention to professional wrestling, even though I watched it. I saw it for 3 years before that. The first person that really caught my attention was Chief Wahoo McDaniel, because he was wrestling Boris Malenko, Dane Malenko's dad, on TV, and he chopped him so hard he knocked his teeth out of his mouth. Boom, they went flying. So from that day on, man, I've been a huge fan. But the person who really caught my attention and really got me involved in this indie wrestling was I'm calling him Christopher, was Chris Thunder Anderson.
Yeah.
That dude right there, man, I'll never forget. We was at that show And man, who is it?
I think the first time you saw him, he was at APW, and I told you, I was like,
he was
hey. He was at APW, and I was like, hey,
APW,
I was like, boy, this joker looked just like one of the Los Andersons, boy. He one of them Anderson boys. And you were like, man, what you talking about? I'm like, well, he one of them Anderson boys. I was like, hey, man, what you talking about? One of Anderson? And he came out. I was like, look, and you looked at him, you like, and then you saw how he wrestled. You like, yeah, now I see why you say
that. All right, who's the guy, man? I'm trying to think of the guy who brought him out. I can't even think of his name. Let's see. Yeah, I'm tired, man. The guy who was running it right before AJ.
Chad.
Yeah, Chad. Yeah, Chad Cope. Chad Cope got in the ring. You know, Chad Cope was saying, you know, he's talking about the whatever rule breaking faction that was there that was running the whole thing over there, man. That was pretty much beating people down. I don't know who it was, who the guys was doing that. I think it was AJ maybe and Nick Fury. The guys pretty much was controlling things, running roughshod over the over the company at the time. And Chad got in and Chad said, you know, you guys are interfering in my matches. You continue to do things that, you know, you continue to do things to knock me down, to keep me down. And pretty much, you know, things are out of control here. But I called a big brother. I called somebody who can come in, man, and handle business, man, and pretty much get this thing under control, man. We need some balance in here. And, hey, I had to call my big brother. And he said, Chris Thunder Anderson. Thunder Anderson walked out there. And I was just like, what in the world is that? I mean, I was stunned. And Chris was telling me, Harry, he looked like one of those Andersons. Hey, he looked bigger than those Andersons. Put it that way. He did remind me of Ole Anderson, but a bigger Ole Anderson. Reminded me of Lars Anderson, you know, Gene Anderson, but bigger, meaner, you know, just as mean as those guys were, man. And I'm just like, and so I'm like, is he as tough as those guys? But hey, yeah, I wouldn't want to find out. Put it that way. I wouldn't want to find out personally, but you know, seemed get in that ring that night, you know, him and Chad Cope. And when this guy, you know, Chad was in there wrestling, man, you know, Chad's a big guy himself, you know, pretty impressive himself. He's in there working guys over, and then, you know, they working him over. You know, he tags out the Thunder Anderson. Thunder Anderson got in there. That's all I needed to see, man. I'm like, wow, this guy is, man, he's an essential wrestler. You know, the brawler, the tough guy, the guy that knows his moves, the guy that knows how to pretty much put you down. And he's going to get respect out of everybody in that locker room.
Oh, gosh, yeah, man. He is, man.
And then when we went up to HWA to see him, hey, and thank you, Missy Childers, pretty much inviting us out to HWA. Yes. But when I got out there to see him team up with Cruiser, I thought he was good with Chad Cope. Him and Cruiser,
woo! Him and Cruiser, that was man. That's like a
incredible tag team, man. I just couldn't believe it. And I know people out here, man. They talk about, you know, let's see, they talk about, let's see, gosh, I keep thinking the name of that tag team out at the other APW. Those guys, I forgot the names, but you know, a lot of tag teams out here. A lot of people have talked about these guys, but you know, people don't talk about Cruiser and Thunder the way that they talk about certain tag teams out here. Cruiser and Thunder is, you know, outside of another team that we saw out in Georgia, the Bad Squad, Cruiser and Thunder is the best that I've seen. These guys, man, I was like, why are these guys on TV? What? Cruiser and Thunder, man, incredible. You know, hey, they up there. You know, hey, you know, Dwayne, you know, Cruiser, you know, he's up there. He's a couple years younger than myself. You know, Thunder, you know, he's up there in age too, but not as quite, you know, but he's right on that cusp of 50. But man, these guys I was just like, wow.
Still doing it big way, man.
Big, hardcore, man, knocking guys around and putting moves on guys, man, that
you ain't moves you ain't seen in years.
Yeah. I mean, Road Warrior demolition type moves on people. And
them boys
manipulating the referee like we saw back in the day. Manipulating the referee, you know, hey, just
had have the referee all confused, don't know what he's talking about, boy, and just
exactly.
referee just all mixed up and everything, boy.
Yeah, hey, didn't need to, they definitely didn't need to do all those things, man. They didn't need to do it, but hey, they executed their plan. I don't care if it was a foreign object; those guys was able to execute their plan. And hey,
you know what, Harry? I think some of them objects were made in the USA. I don't think they were foreign. I could have sworn I saw a made in the USA sticker on one of them things. I think they had a spike or something in the ring, or a nail gun or something they had in the ring. It said made in the USA on it, Harry. So I don't think it was that foreign, man.
Oh yeah, and they came and they did your wife's benefit show too. So Cruiser and my man Chris Thunder Anderson did that show, and those guys was able to bring that. I definitely wanted them on that show, and they went up against. I think they went up against. Yeah, was it Chad Cope and AJ, or what it was? I know it was part of that crew. It was part of that Outsiders crew, and they went up against two. I don't know exactly who we had those guys against, but I think it was either AJ and Chad Cope. I think it was AJ and Chad Cope, or no.
It might have been. It might have been.
It was AJ and Chris, either Chad Cope and Chris James, or whoever it was. But man, they came there and they put on a great show there too. But yeah, one of the best teams I've seen one of the best teams that I've seen out here on the indie scenes. I put them at number 2, but they are most definitely the hardest hitting tag team that I've seen. Most definitely the hardest hitting tag team I've seen, man. Let me turn that light back on.
and then the move that always makes Scott Larson.
Gosh, man! Wow.
Now this move right here. If Scott Larson's in the building, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know. And Chris Thunder Anderson's on the card and he's wrestling. Have a trash can or a bucket somewhere nearby Scott Larson. Because anytime Chris Thunder Anderson does this move, Scott Larson either gonna pass out, scream like a girl, or blow chunks. One of them three is gonna happen when Chris Thunder Anderson does this one particular move. He basically, how Shayna Baszler does the elbow and then steps on you. Yeah, Scott Larson can't stand that, man. I thought Scott Larson. I saw the color. I literally saw up at HWA. I literally saw the color go out of Scott Larson's face when Thunder Anderson did it, Harry. I was like, this man done went full anemic, but he just like, I was like. He was like, I can't stand it. He's like, that's the one thing I hate. I was like, wow. And I was like, wow, man. And he would always try to get ready for it. But as soon as he lets down his guard, that's when Chris, he'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, very knowledgeable. And like I say, if you're a wrestler out here, definitely try to talk. Hey, talk to Chris Thunder Anderson. And hey, he might look like he's unapproachable, but he is approachable. And I mean, he's willing to, hey, if you're not one of these people out here BSing and you're serious about the business, go talk to him. He definitely will talk to you, man. He's put out a lot of wisdom to a lot of guys out here. And there's guys there's a lot of guys out here, man. In my opinion, I know he trained up a lot of those guys. Chris James, I think AJ, Nick Fury, he trained up some of those guys, and some of these guys, man, who have come up in the business, asked him, after they asked him what he thought about their matches, and Chris gave them their honest opinion. Next thing you know, these guys are a lot tougher. And there's a couple of them. Brino Royce asked him, "What did you think about my match?" Chris, Thunder Anderson gave him his honest opinion. Let's see, Jackson Cage asked him, "What did you think about my match?" Chris Thunder Anderson gave him his honest opinion. After that, man, Jackson Cage became a better wrestler. Hey, Jackson Cage, I don't know if he's hearing this or whatever, he hears this or whatever, but he did. And hey, they owe that to Chris Thunder Anderson. And that's one thing that I want people out here, man, to, as far as some of these wrestlers or whatever, hey, man, give props to the people that pretty much propelled you. Because some of these wrestlers, man, some of these wrestlers out here and some promoters, and some commentators, and you can even say some podcasters have propelled you, helped you get even farther in your career. Yeah. So hey, man, acknowledge
and just let you know, if you ask Chris Thunder Anderson his opinion of whatever you doing that night.
Exactly.
Whether it's refereeing, commentary, management, whatever. Wrestling, it don't matter. Be ready for the brutal, honest, unadulterated truth.
Exactly.
I mean, that man gonna be like, okay, you did good, you did bad, you can improve here or there. Or he could just be like, kid, you suck, you just don't need to do this.
Oh, yeah.
And it could go any way. So be prepared. If you ask him his honest opinion, you're going to get his honest opinion.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like a straight up wrestling show, man. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. You're gonna get it. He's gonna give it to you. You know, sometimes, man, you know, hey, even myself, even as hardcore as I am. And look, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, man, and Chris is this way too. You know, if I say something about you, you hear that I don't say something about you, I'm not gonna say anything to you that I can't say to your face. Chris Thunder Anderson is that way. He's not gonna say something to you that he can't say to your face. You know, but and hey, sometimes you got to be that way. He's from that school, man. He's from that school. And hey, Chris Thunder Anderson, you hear this? I know your family's on here. Some of them, you know, they're hearing this.
He's in the comments too.
Hey, Chris Thunder Anderson, continue being that way, man. Continue being that way, because I'm telling you what, you know, me and Chris, we don't, you know, we walk by our own, you know, we walk by the bounce of our own ball. Everybody knows that. You know, hey, we're not going to worry about any other any other podcasters out here or whatever promoters or whatever they got something to say about Chris and Harry. You can't come and say it to my face, man. Like, continue to talk out here, because, you know, they won't come up here and they won't say it. You know, say it. And then, like I say, I have a lot more respect for you if you're able to do that. I'm not going to knock you out. Don't think I'm gonna knock you out. You know, I'm not gonna do it. Let you say something out the way. But straight up, I mean, straight up. You know, hey, Chris Thunder Anderson, man, like he said, hey, this guy,
he tells it like it is, man.
I mean, he's no joke. He's no joke. But yeah, he's one of these guys, man, that hey, I would have loved to have this guy hanging out with me back in the day when I was growing up. He's one of these guys that could have ran with me and my crew. I'm just using that as an analogy, and analogy that this guy's tough as they come, man. He's tough as they come in this business, and we need people like that. As far as wrestling business, it's the wrestling business, man. It's the hurt business, even though it's not, you know, boxing is called the hurt business. It's, you know, but wrestling is the hurt business, and he's one of these guys, man, that you look at. And wrestlers, like I said, back in the day, is as tough as. You know, I'm not going to use myself. I'm going to use people that was around me. And Chris knows I ran around a lot of people that was rough out here. And Chris done heard about that. Chris didn't know about my past till he started talking to some people in his family, and they told him, man, I ran with some rough people, rugged people that Chris Thunder Anderson remind me of one of those people. I'm just saying he's one of those, he can run with people like that. And, you know, people that ran with me, we looked at wrestling like, I wouldn't want to mess with that guy. Chris Thunder Anderson brings that off to you. You know, he gives that perception off to you. And that's what you want to have in your wrestlers, man. And I love that. So yeah, continue doing what you're doing, man. Chris Thunder Anderson, keep rocking, man. Keep rocking.
Let's get some of these comments here real quick. All right, Lucas Thomas is up here cracking up. Richard Matthews says, Mr. Chris Anderson. Z1's up here cracking up. Richard Matthews up here cracking up, LOL. Justin Miller says, I hope Harry talked to the APW owner so we can build all Chris faction, Chris Anderson, Chris Prince, and Phoenix, and the manager, Mr. Christopher Burton.
Well, Phoenix and Prince is the same person, man. So,
man, it's like Batman and Bruce Wayne, man. They two different people, man.
Exactly. Well, hey, yeah, they can interchange, Chris. That'll be pretty interesting. All right, man.
Lucas Thomas up here cracking up.
All right.
Travis Grand says he's a fighter. As Ole Anderson cut a promo like Harry Hamilton. Okay. All right, Chris Thunder Anderson himself says, thanks, guys. I appreciate the kind words. Hey, Chris. Hey, man, you deserve it, man. You deserve it, brother. No doubt. You put in a lot of work and paved the way for a lot of guys out here, man.
Yes, he did.
And Scott Larson says, did I hear elbow stomp? Hey, yes, you did, Scott. Yes, you did. And Missy says, imagine living with him. Oh, Lord. Well, I'm sure that's
Hey.
a whole nother podcast for a whole nother day.
Yeah, they made it a long time. So hey, that's true love there, brother.
All right, Jason Dunn says crews don't need to be off TV. We talk APW, not AEW. Miss Flower, Crazy Lady, Tony Storm off TV. That's good booking. All right, Bobby Jones says, "What's up, Aaron Chris? You hear Dutch Mandel said the TK going to destroy his company like Bischoff and WCW if you don't get out as owner. You're gonna see the fire burn."
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, a lot of people out here talking about that, man. Jim Cornette, let's see, Magnum TA, just a lot of people been talking about that. A lot of people been talking about that. All right, Chris, you roll on.
All right, who is this that said that? Hold on, let me see who his Facebook user is. Missy Childers said, I have seen men leave the ring because of the Thunder Stomp. Oh, Lord.
Oh, wow. I believe it.
Richie Matthews cracking up. Scott Larson said, he's the kindest meanie I know. I love you, Chris. Oh, wow. You just broke all kind of kayfabe right there, Scott, man. You just throw the man out there.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris Thunder Anderson says, thank you, Scott Larson. And Scott Larson said, I'll say it to your face. We family. And Scott Larson says, I'm doing some commercial time on hashtag about local shows. Of course, you guys are on one of them. Oh, right. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, man. Thank you for the love. Thank you, man.
You say that hashtag truth. Everybody go check it out, especially over here on the YouTube, man. Go and sign up for my man Scott Larson. I know a lot of you guys that's on our YouTube channel has signed up, but hey, we got a lot more than we had at that time as far as YouTubers. We have 4 or 5 times as many. So yeah, go sign up hashtag truth, guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Scott. Yeah, Scott, man, a great indie podcaster. Sometimes he comes on with us and he does a lot of these, WrestleManias and things like that. And we've done a couple other special things we've done. But yeah, go check out my man Scott Larson, man. Hashtag truth. All right.
Who got up next, hey? Who got up next?
Right, man? We only got 2 wrestlers left, man. 2 wrestlers left. Let's go ahead and talk about Drew Hood, man.
That's your man. You got all that.
Drew Hood, man. First time we saw.
Hold on. This is all I know about Drew Hood right here. That's all I know. That's all I know about Drew Hood. That's it. That's all I got.
Boy, Drew Hood in HD, boy. Drew Hood in HD. Let's talk about Drew Hood.
That's all I got.
Hey, man, look. Drew Hood, first time I saw Drew Hood, man. And hey, we went down to APW down in Chester. Now you talking about a successful promotion. Very successful. APW Chester, man. Hey, William, what is William? I think Bradley, I think his last name. I can't think of it right now. But William, great promoter. And William, you see this, man. Hey, I'm sorry if I didn't get your last name correct. But man, William doing a great job down there at APW, man, Chester. But man, first time we got to see, first person I was really impressed with was Drew Hood down in Chester. You talking, and Ryan and Tellus. Now I'm not gonna, Ryan and Tellus, very, very special.
He another beast. He a whole another beast.
That tag team that everybody talked about. That tag team. I can't think of their name. But very good tag team. A lot of people was impressed with them, say they should be on APW and everything. I think they're a good tag team. Don't get me wrong. Very good tag team. But I don't think they're better than Chris Thunder Anderson and Cruiser Lewis. I would not book those guys to defeat that team. I wouldn't. And they're definitely not better than Bad Company. And that's, not Bad Company. Bad Squad. So those are the 2 best teams that me and Chris have seen on this indie circuit. It's Bad Squad and Chris Thunder Anderson and Cruiser Lewis. Those guys are incredible. Yeah, the unbookables. But right now, man, Drew Hood, like I say, hey, Drew Hood, out of everybody that I saw at APW Chester, they put on a great show. They put on great shows there. Drew Hood, when I first saw him, charisma, man, the charisma that this kid has is out of this world, if you ask me. And, out of everybody I've seen out here on the indie scene, he's the best I've seen as far as somebody who can get over off of that charisma. But he has his wrestling talent, wrestling ability is right up there. Like say Christopher Prince, he went hole for hole with it. You know, I mean, he can actually get in there. He can do it in the ring, not just a pretty boy. And I don't think he looks at himself as a pretty boy. But he reminds me, well, yes, he does. He does and he don't. You know, he relies on that to pretty much get over that right there, to get over his looks, to get over as far as his promos. He blends that in with his promos, and his promos come off very well, man. You're gonna look at him and then you watch him in the ring. Everything blends all together, man. And he just lays it out. He's that overall package that you're gonna look at in somebody like a Ric Flair, a Austin Idol, that a Buddy Landale. He has that kind of persona that comes off, man, and he comes off very well in this day and time. MJF, he has that. So he's one of these guys, man, that he's get out here now. He's going to different states. He's one of these guys that can somebody like AEW, NXT will look at very seriously within the next year or two. That's bringing him on. He can jump right in that mix. He has it all, man. He has it all. He has he has that promo skills down, and he has the wrestling ability. This guy can actually get in and wrestle. He's not just all looks. And I like the way that he promotes himself. He actually gets out here. He promotes himself very hard, man. He's a very hard worker. Outside of when I look at the young guys that's out here promoting themselves very hard, man, I look at Luka Daniels. I look at Brino Royce, Drew Hood, Christopher Prince. You got to put Drew right up there in that group, man. He is incredible, man. And all best wishes for Drew Hood. I've seen him do incredible work. Out at APW Chester, Pro Wrestling Union. He's done incredible work, man. And where else? I think those are those are the only two promotions I think I've seen him at so far. I'm not sure. May have seen him at a couple other ones, but I think those are the only two. Those are the matches that he put together that he's been in those promotions have pretty much excited me, man. He's up there on that Chase Emery level. I look at him and Chase Emery pretty much being very similar, but Drew has more, he's putting his arrogance out here. He's using a lot of arrogance and things. He's arrogant, but when you meet the guy, you talk to him, very humble guy. But yeah, Drew Hood, man, I have a lot of respect for Drew Hood, and I believe he's going to a lot of places. But I was very excited to see Drew Hood, and hey, I'm excited every time I see him, man. He's incredible. Not just seeing him in person wrestle, but when I see Drew Hood and I see his promos and I see what he does as far as just a promotional pick, the way he markets himself, it excites me as a fan. So not a lot of people do that. So yeah, big ups to Drew Hood, man. Hey, he's going places straight up. But yeah, man, hopefully Christopher Burton is on here soon. But I want him to be on here to help me finish off this thing with Drew Hood, and then we're going to the last one, guys. But hey, I appreciate everybody coming in, man, and checking this thing out. We're talking about some indie wrestlers. But guys, like I say, this is not it. These are not the only ones that we're going to talk about. We're going to do a part 2 here soon on this, and then we'll do a part 3 and part 4. But there's a lot more. I ain't going to say a whole lot more. But, I'm not going to get here and pretty much everybody that we've seen on the indie scene and talk about them is only a select few that we're going to talk about. As far as who's the best, indie wrestlers that we've seen and people that we've impressed. And me, myself, personally, I've been to 15 different promotions. I've counted all of them that I've been to 15 different promotions and seen wrestlers from 15 different promotions. Of course, some of them are from the same the same companies, same companies. You might have APW who went over to His Pro Wrestling. Some of those guys, His Pro Wrestling, they don't went up to HWA. They don't went up to Uprise. But we've seen wrestlers from a lot of different promotions. So, yeah, there's a lot of wrestlers that we've seen, here in the Carolinas, up through Georgia, up into Georgia, up into Florida. We've seen a lot of different wrestling at the promotions that we've been to. So we will get to that. And we have not, me and Chris, we usually, come on and do shows afterwards, man. But since his work schedule changed, we haven't been able to get to all these shows and review shows like we used to. But man, definitely Drew Hood is something special. But Christopher Burton, hopefully he'll be back on here in just a moment, guys, so we can get to the next one. But wow, I didn't know we was on here this long. But goodness sake, hopefully he gets on here in just a little bit. Maybe his wife just came home and he's doing something there, or he's doing something with his family. But hopefully he gets back on here in just a moment. But let me send him a text, guys, and see what's up.
Okay, I'm back.
Back on. Hey, I just finished talking about my man Drew Hood. But yeah, give me your final thoughts on Drew Hood, Chris. I just went ahead and said what I had to say, but just give me your final thoughts on him, and then we'll go over to the last one here, guys. Wow, man, I didn't know it was 6:55, but we've been on here for
minutes.
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, Drew Hood, man. He, like I said, man, I haven't really kept an eye on him, man.
Right.
To be honest with you. But from what I've seen of him, man, and I think the one and only time I've seen him was at that APW show. I really haven't kept an eye on him.
You saw him at HWA. He wrestled your boy Christopher Prince there.
Yeah.
The final. I mean, no, well, not the final. I think that was the semifinal because I think was Christopher Prince against the guy.
He wrestled Daddy-Daughter Dance.
Daddy-Daughter Dance. Yeah, it was against James. I can't think of his last name.
James something, but yeah, Daddy-Daughter Dance.
I can't think of his last name right now, but most people know who we're talking about. You say Daddy-Daughter Dance. Yeah.
Drew Hood, he is a heck of an athlete, man, because I mean, and he plays the crowd so well.
The
crowd so well, man. I'm talking about, man, this dude here, man, oh my gosh. That night, man, he literally about 5-10 minutes was like, I'm leaving. I don't get no respect, I'm leaving. I'm like, shoot, man, you been waiting this long, just leave. Man. Yeah, shoot. But when he got in there, man, he mixed it up and he did his thing, man. He was really a good talker too. A good talker, man. He is amazing. He is amazing.
Top-notch match, man, between him and Christopher Prince. That was a 4.5 star match easily. Straight up.
Yeah, it was.
It could have been a 5-star match. But hey, I think a lot of the match was used up by both of these guys, man. Their charisma to the crowd. They both was pretty much pushing off their persona to the crowd. So a lot of that match was that. But when these guys entangled, man, they put it down. They let you know that, hey, we can't only just we don't just work the crowd and we're good with our voices. We're good with our moves in the ring. Man, they was incredible. So that was a good match. But yeah, Drew Hood, like I say, man, future star, man. Look out for Drew Hood. I wouldn't be surprised to see him up on, hey, with WWE or AEW or TNA here soon. I wouldn't be surprised at all. All right.
Let's get some of these comments, man. Richie Matthews says, thank you, Scott Larson. Vance Keyshawn says, thank you to the one and only Scott Larson.
Oh, yeah.
Richie Matthews is cracking up laughing. Scott Larson says, I've got to go, but Drew Hood is the man, one of the best promo guys out there.
Oh, no doubt.
James L says, oh, my God, Harry, Chris is a legend. He brought me to tears as a childhood. Chris shows his arms, remind me of the 1967 Justice League miniseries where all the characters showed their muscles, then flexed it. Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Richie Matthews up there cracking up laughing. And Richie also says, I saw Drew Hood on the independent shows. Okay.
Oh, yeah. All right, man. We got one more, Chris. One more, man. Cruiser.
Last but not least. Yeah,
last but not least, man. Hey.
The Deacon of Destruction.
Exactly, man. This dude here is part of the Unbookables.
Yes.
Lewis. And man, hey, one of the best out here on the indie scenes, man, and one of the greatest people. Man, look, hey, I'm just gonna tell you, he's a vicious wrestler, man. This guy is something serious, and he goes back a long way. But Cruiser Lewis is no joke, man. Let's talk about Cruiser Lewis, man. Hey,
I'm gonna throw this nugget out there, man. Yeah,
I know what you're gonna do, man. I want to say it, but I'm gonna go and let you do it.
One of Cruiser's claim to fame. he is not only a great wrestler, he's not only does he have a great mind for this business, he is a heck of a trainer. But one of the people that his claim to fame that he can put a stamp on, that he put his fingerprints on, is WWE's own Xavier Woods, aka Apollo Creed.
Apollo Crews.
Creed.
Apollo Creed.
Oh, Austin Creed.
Yeah, Austin Creed. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Austin Creed. Yeah, because if y'all don't know, Austin Creed has a doctorate degree that he got from our area, university up in this area, Furman University.
Oh, yeah.
And during that time, he was training in this area, and Cruiser got to be one of his trainers, man. So that's a little fact that not too many people know. So, and obviously it was after me, and then around that time, after he got some training and things under his belt, ended up going to TNA, and then left TNA and ends up in WWE, NXT, and whatever else, and the rest is history. But Cruiser, man, him and Chris are cut from the same cloth, man.
Oh, no doubt.
They cut from the same cloth. But that song right there.
Chris, I'm gonna kill you.
That's his intro song, man. Y'all think I'm joking? That's his joke, man.
I'm gonna kill you, man. Hey, and look, he's one like Chris say. Him and Thunder Anderson cut from the same cloth. You see this guy come out, man. This song started playing. You not only believe like this guy right here. He's rough, rugged. He can whoop your tail on the street. You know, he's one of these guys that can beat up a lot of guys. But that song, even the song playing, is like, wow, man. It's like pour for the course, man. It's like they go together, and it's like, wow. You think of a movie, you watching a movie, and somebody come out in slow motion. They opening up their car, they getting out of their car, they shut the door, they walking into a convenience store, and you can just you just hear that music like you're watching a movie. I'm gonna kill you. This guy,
and I never really paid attention to it until I heard it, man.
I never paid attention to it till you told me that. He's coming out with the song saying, I'm going to kill you. Then I said, wait a minute, Chris, I never paid attention to it. I was so into, especially him, because it was him and Thunder Anderson coming out. I remember Thunder Anderson, Cruiser didn't do that. Cruiser just had a smile on his face. Thunder Anderson said, y'all better give us a 4-star tonight, or y'all better give us 5 stars tonight. And Thunder Anderson was behind him, and Thunder Anderson have that little smile on his face, that little grimace like, hey, if you don't do it, I'm going to get a hold of you with this man too. These guys are just like, that Cruiser guy, he seemed like he was more of the quiet one. Now, Chris Thunder Anderson was the one who said, hey, if you don't do this, hey, we're going to take care of you. And this other guy had a smile on his face like, hey.
If you move.
Yeah, exactly. If you move, I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to beat you down like, Thunderbolt Patterson. I'm going to hurt you real bad. Man, that Cruiser Lewis, man, I'm just like, man, this guy look like I'm thinking, hey, he's the surgeon in the ring. He's the more, he's smaller, he's shorter than Thunder. Not actually, smaller, probably outweighs him, but he's more bigger. But like I said, this guy look like, hey, he's the surgeon, man. He's the guy, he's the enforcer. He's built like Arn Anderson. He's gonna tear you apart, man. He's gonna take you apart limb by limb if you don't do what he wants you to do. You're talking about knowing how to cut off the ring. Very quick in that ring, man. As far as cutting off that ring, he was the guy in the Unbookables that would cut off the ring, and Thunder Anderson will hold you down and keep you to where you're going. But man, Cruiser is the guy that's gonna cut off the ring. And then solo action, hey, we saw what he did. He went up against, he came in when he came back to APW. Hey, who did he up against? He went up against Nick Fury. And, if Jay Stunner was out there with us, man, Jay Stunner said, hey, Nick got somebody in there that he can't control, that he can just beat the way he wanted to.
Exactly. And we know Nick loves to just have his way in the match and just beat you and kick you and throw you.
Oh, yeah.
Nick goes in. Nick is one of those guys that put you in the mind frame. It's like a grown man fighting a newborn baby.
Oh, yeah.
He gonna have his way with you. You ain't got no chance.
No doubt.
We found out,
Nick, when he wrestling Cruiser?
You can't do this night, Nick. You ain't gonna do this tonight, boy.
Nick was like, hey, but yeah, Cruiser, man. Cruiser, you're not cruising when you in there against Cruiser. Just put it that way.
And you be like, oh, I got an easy night. I'm going against an old man. He got a shoulder brace on. He walking like he all broke up. Okay, think that if you want to.
Exactly, man.
Think that if you want to.
He still can work, man. He's still fast in that ring. I mean, he can put a serious hurting on you. And he just looked like one of these guys that can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. Hey, he's like, man, I'm just like, this guy right here, I just don't know about him. And, Danny Parrish said something to me. He said, Harry, he said, man, he said, one of the things, he said, I was shocked how quickly that, a Cruiser took to you, Harry. He said, because Cruiser, not many people that he take to real quick, that he's not one of these people, man, that
really don't, man.
Yeah, but
he's very leery.
Yeah, and he said, that shocked Danny. He said that you and him got along so quick that that y'all became the way y'all was, so that the way y'all are so quickly. He said Cruiser's not like that, and I can see that, man. And anybody that goes around him, and he's another guy. Another guy. Like I say, that you do not. You look at and you're like, hey, I'm gonna think twice before I mess with him. I don't know. And he brings off that persona, of one of those wrestlers from back in the day. That, hey, this guy could tear you apart. And man, hey, everybody that he's wrestled, even the matches that we've seen that he's lost, Cruiser Lewis was able to get his in every single time. Every single time.
For real, man. He gonna he may come out on the losing end of some matches.
Oh yeah,
trust me, you gonna know. You gonna know without self doubt. You've been in for a fight, man.
Yeah, you've been in for a fight, man. It's a fist fight every time you go in there with Cruiser Lewis. There's no doubt about it.
You gonna come out there. You gonna come out there hurting in places you didn't know you had places.
Oh yeah. He's gonna send you home. He's gonna send you home.
Exactly.
Every single bit of it. There's
just like Ken Shamrock, man. Just like Ken Shamrock, man.
That's true. Exactly, Ricky Matthews. But yeah, Cruiser Lewis, man, one of my top 5 out here on the indie scene. And as far as hey, I will say, me and Chris, we got relationships with a lot of these guys. Hey, one of our favorite people. Hey, he's cool with Chris too. But yeah, I mean, this guy. Yeah, we real close with this guy, man. He's out.
He loves us, man. He really. I mean, anytime we're at a show, man, he's like, "Hey, come here, go ahead."
Oh yeah, man. Him, Boomer, all these guys, man. A lot of these guys. But great guy, man. Great guy. Yeah. But I'm not gonna sit here and say he's great with everybody. Exactly. And he means total business, man. When you get in that ring. It's strictly business. No, friendship. If you friends with him outside of the ring, and you're a wrestler, and you got to wrestle him. Hey, the consequences of wrestling. Cruiser. It's not fun. Just put it that way. No. You're not gonna have a fun time in that ring. You're gonna remember every single bit of it. But yeah, man. Hey, so that's it.
You're gonna get a lesson in
no doubt about it. But that's it, man. But yeah, these guys, every single one of them that we talked about here, this evening, guys, is special. I mean, it's special. Me and Chris, we're not gonna talk about you if we don't think you're special. Straight up. That's all it is to it. But if we don't think you're special, we're not gonna talk about it. And if
This
you
is episode 1.
Yeah, episode 1, man. So yeah, episode 1, we got a lot of other guys on the indie scene that we're gonna talk about. And hey, don't ask us to talk about you if
if you don't want the truth.
If you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask us to talk about you, man. Straight up.
Oh, wait, hold on now. Wait, oh, wow, Cruiser done came on here. Hold on, Cruiser said, who said I like either of you?
Hey, Cruiser, man, don't scare me like that, man. Like,
wait a minute.
Because hey, I've been skeptical every time I get near you. Like, hey, is this guy gonna hit me, man? Or is he gonna hammer lock me? Is he gonna headlock me? Put me in an abdominal stretch? Do something to me, man. Every time I get up, get near you.
If you notice, he always sit closer to you than he sit closer to me. So he might want a piece of you more than he want a piece of me.
He might, man. He might, but hey, man, no, but like I say, this is, I love this guy, man, straight up. And hey, outside of the friendship, I love seeing him in the ring more than the friendship, to tell you the truth. I mean, because hey, he brings a lot of joy to me when I see him go into the ring. Not just a song, man, just as far as his performance. He gets in the ring, put together a great performance. So we definitely love that about you, Cruiser, man. Yes. Most definitely. But man, hey, I just love that he's happy. He's a success in life because he's happy, with him and Debs, man. They out here, doing their thing out here in the world, man. I love that more than anything, man. Him and Deborah. What did he say?
Oh, he wants you in a
boxing match. Oh, snap. I'm boss like this when I boss Cruiser, man, because I don't want to get hit at all, man. He's ducking and diving and everything. All right, man. But yeah, Cruiser Lewis, man. Hey, we saved the best for last, man. Straight up. But yeah, all these guys, man. All of them.
Man, James L said him versus Gunther. Take my money.
Yeah.
But if we can make that happen, boy.
Hey, I tell you what, too, man. Especially back in Cruiser Lewis's young days, man. In his prime, man. Hey, I got a lot of matches here. Some matches here back in his prime. Trying to get up here on the channel, man. But yeah, I was very impressed, man. Very impressed. But yeah, you think he's something now? Hey, Cruiser back in his prime, and like Deborah said, he had hair. But yeah, now Cruiser though, he's running around without the hair. But hey, man, hey, Cruiser, he's up there. He's in our age bracket. He's older than Chris, but he's right up there. Close to my age. But yeah. This guy, man, old school, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, he's not finished in the ring. And man, I love seeing him in the ring, and I love seeing him and Thunder Anderson team up, and Boomer too. When I think it was him and Boomer teamed up together. Or was it him and Boomer or him and Chris teamed? One of the two. No, Boomer wasn't. Boomer didn't do your show.
No, Boomer didn't. No.
Yeah, but yeah, that's who I wanted those two. I wanted Cruiser and Boomer against Soul Patrol. That's at first. That's who we wanted, and I know that's Boomer said that was one of his that was on his bucket list of matches. I would have loved to seen that.
Yeah, well, in the world of wrestling, cards subject to change.
Exactly, but yeah, that's the match we wanted to book. I definitely wanted to book that match. But yeah, man, all right. But yeah, wow. But yeah, that boxing match, man. Yeah, let's put it together. Let's put it together, Cruiser.
somebody called Don King, but so he can get 85% of the game.
Yeah, we got to get paid for that when we do that. But yeah, straight up. But yeah, Chris, man. Yeah, it's been a great show, man. I enjoyed talking about each and every one of these competitors, man. Yeah, Christopher Prince, Drew Hood, my man Cruiser Lewis, Chris Thunder Anderson, Boomer Payne, AJ Frost,
yes.
And hey, man. Look, best wishes, hey, good fortune to each and every one of you guys.
And there's more to come, and there's going to be more to come, man. It's going to be more
whatever
to come,
you guys do, and there's more to come. Everybody out here, hey, we didn't talk about you. Hey, if you impressed Harry and Chris out here, hey, we're going to get to you, and we're going to talk about you straight up. We're going to talk about you. And this indie wrestling thing that we doing, guys.
Yes.
We definitely gonna talk about you. All right, Mr. Burden, you want to sign us out of here, man? Get us on out of here.
Guys. So for me, People's Podcast, my man HBT, you have watched the Straight Up Wrestling show. Wrestlers that impressed us during time of indie wrestling straight up. Volume 1. And we'll catch you on the next go round. We're out of here. Stay straight
Stay
up.
straight up.
Peace.
Before you leave here, let me go ahead and get this last comment from my man Richie, man. Let's see. Richie says, so which wrestler gonna be Mitch Green? Then in the press conference with Harry, the Pie Man, Hamilton, laugh out loud. Man, Mitch Green. So you say, oh, you want me to punch some wrestler, man, come out looking like Mitch Green? Boy, that wouldn't be good at all. Man, Mitch Green was messed up after that. Mike Tyson almost killed that dude on the streets, man. That's not good.
Hey,
All
well,
right,
at least
man.
he looked better than probably what Jake Paul about to look.
That's true, man. Jake Paul crazy, man. I wouldn't be doing that. There's no flipping way. All right, guys, stay straight up. We'll see you guys in just a little bit, man. Peace.
All right, we got it. Peace.